Timing was perfect.
Timing was perfect. Wait, that's that camera. Okay, test. Audio. I honestly think we're working. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Wreck Rebuild Season 4 build stream for Episode 6. If you're curious why this is 6 and we didn't do a 5, so Episode 5 is going to be a design episode. And we didn't work on the bike at all. We just kind of discussed the futures of, like, the future goal of the build and stuff like that. That's why there was no Episode 5. If this is your first build stream, this is the live stream that is only available for that fly and on Patreon for the top level supporters. So thank you guys for supporting at the top level. And this is something only you guys get. You get to watch us actually film the show, work on the bike, talk to us on the live stream, so you guys get to sit back, enjoy us working. Oh, that was creepy as shit. I saw it out of my peripheral. If you guys are watching last build stream, the build stream for Episode 4, we did have audio issues with the other camera not having the correct audio, but hopefully there's audio in that camera correctly now too. Fingers crossed. I'm going to read comments real quick to make sure.
Did you find anything wrong with the setup?
Yeah, so the issue was that the preamp wasn't plugged into the computer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You found it that same day, just later on.
I did, yeah, but that's the problem with the live stream is like,
you don't really have a whole lot of time to think through it.
Yeah, I can't really like, and then I would have to like shut it down to get it back going. So that kind of is, I'm going to raise the audio a little bit because you guys are saying it sounds tiny. But that was the main issue with that. Super simple fix because that camera has an audio feed directly from this. So it kind of has it built into the recording. It's our way of backing up the audio. You guys are in that camera. But yeah, today we're going to be fixing all of the little seals and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of tiny work in here on the engine today, and we're going to do our best to make sure you guys are watching the right camera to see. I'm
going to switch it back because we're probably going to spend the majority of the time.
Oh really? Over here?
On the other side.
Okay, cool.
On that side of the bike. So
yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the build. If you guys have any questions, we'll try to jump over in the comments, but a lot of the time we spend here is just like trying to churn this episode out. So if we don't get to your comment, you know, it's something you could ask us on the Q&A videos that we're putting out as well. So yeah, without any more, we're going to get to it. Thank you guys for watching the live stream and hope you enjoy. I got to fix this mic thing. Oh, it sounds tinny, like closer to 8-bit audio. Interesting. I'm not really sure what would be causing that. Yeah, well, if we sound tinny right now, guys, just kind of...
Because you don't have a thingy on your microphone?
I do have a thingy on my microphone.
You're a liar.
No, look, it's a little cap. I'll watch I'll watch the stream afterwards, guys, and see what the audio looks like, and I'll try to assess from there. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Mic gain might be a little too high.
So you know how to run a live stream, bro?
You'd think I would know at this point. Yeah, I'll watch the stream afterwards, guys, and I'll try to figure out what the issue is, and I'll maybe get it fixed for the next episode.
Next episode.
Or the next build stream. Okay. That's ready to go. You're ready to go. I have a blinking light. Blah, blah, blah. This is Episode 6. This is Season 4. My name is Chase, and Brian's name is Brain, and Luke's name is Luke, and I think we're... Oh, fucking hand. Lord God, it finds its way all over the motorcycle.
It almost found its way in your ear.
That's not comforting at all. Wait, what am I doing? Dude, the audio's not even recording, and the GH5s aren't recording. Oh my God, I suck at my job. All right. Bro, and there's no SD card. I thought I had everything ready.
God. Do you even know how to do a live stream?
Oh my God, are we all making that joke now? Is that today's joke?
You're allowed to laugh out loud. It's okay.
No, it's fine. I deserve the bullshit because these are issues I shouldn't have had. I
deserve to take a little bit of verbal abuse.
That's what I get. Like I feel like if I deserve it, if I do something,
just be happy we don't turn it into physical abuse.
all this audio is so great because it has to come through that camera. Where are you, SD card slot? See, this is where I don't feel bad about not knowing stuff on the bike, but like if it's camera shit, then I'm like, damn it, I'm supposed to be good at this part. All right, audio. Okay, recording audio for episode 6, season 4, Wreck Bike Rebuild.
Yes.
GH5S is going, GH5 is going, audio sync. Thank you, Brian. Does this say, I don't know, this says a lot of stuff.
In Italian.
In Italia.
Italiano.
Italiano. Okay.
Peningly.
Now we're recording audio.
Gotcha.
Now we're recording on the live stream cameras. Now we can go. Welcome everyone to Wreck Bike Rebuild Season 4, Episode 6 with the correct amount of audio. My name is Jason on Two Wheels. That is Brian. You're being floated around by Luke. This is our taken apart Ducati Panigale 959. And this is Wreck Bike Rebuild, the show where we take wreck bikes, turn them into dream bikes,
And then give them away.
damn right we do. So, on the last episode, we discussed design aspects and why, all the reasons why this is not going to be a Street Fighter. But that doesn't matter because in this episode, I think it was episode 4, that we discovered oil weeping from
Multiple
miscellaneous
places. Yes.
areas on the motor. So where we're at right now is we're officially in the let's get this bike to a dream bike stage. So we're not going to give somebody, here's a brand new bike, by the way, there's oil popping out the bottom. You know, like that's just not how that works.
That's not how that rolls.
So if we'll take you guys through the entire process today we've got a lot of O-rings, gaskets.
So we found our leakage here at
Right.
this wire bundle that comes off of the charging system. Also here for this sensor where it seals into the cover. Also the horizontal cylinder valve cover gasket is weeping. And then where the starter seals, where it goes into the motor, that's weeping as well. So
Right.
we're going to clean all that up, replace all the O-rings and seals for those areas to make sure that when this bike goes to the forever owner, or the next owner, I should say, all that stuff is square.
Right, and for you guys that are keeping a bike tally, all of the stuff we got today, total price ended up being like $98. So we'll add that to the, my nose is itching so bad, total build budget thing? I don't know. So that's how much we've currently spent. That much money.
Poof.
Okay, so
So go put your gloves on and get ready to get dirty.
what I need the little, you know, in the old cartoons where somebody would run away and it would just be a poof of smoke. I wish I could be there when.
As long as that little-
He's gonna be like,
As long as that little poof isn't green.
oh, because that would be. Now we're talking about Nickelodeon. I like it. All right. Oh yeah, good idea, Luke. We should probably show all the stuff we got.
Well, I guess we could open everything up then if that's the case. Fancy oil filter.
That's an oil filter?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. I think I ordered a smaller size glove. These seem to be tight. Oh,
Uh-oh.
fart though.
You got farty hands again.
Still okay with that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So we got oil filter,
Yeah. Okay.
and then this oil filter is what we refer to as a cartridge filter.
Okay.
because there's no metal piece on the outside that you could screw it on. So this actually slides into a spot. So this would be the cartridge. This is pretty much what the inside of your spin-on filter looks like.
Wait. So this bike don't have like the K&N oil filter that you screw on the bottom. Oh. I look forward to seeing how that is. That normal for
Panigale motors, this is your filter.
interesting knowledge.
So Testastrada motors, you get a spin-on.
Right.
Panigale motors, you get,
Okay, so it's a Panigale
cartridge.
thing then.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, they're not the only people that use a cartridge filter, but as far as Ducati
Right.
goes, this is the filter that is used in a Panigale.
Okay.
This is the crush washer for the drain plug.
Because you always replace your crush washers when you drain plug unplug.
When you remove your drain plug, before it goes back on, you need to
Yeah.
replace the washer. It is cheap insurance. I mean, this thing is probably 50 cents.
Yeah.
Instead of having to, you take your drain plug out, you change your oil, you put this back on, and after the first time you ride it, when the bike gets all nice and hot and it starts leaking from here and you're leaving spots in your garage, to have to take the drain plug back out to replace this, now you're going to have to either collect and reuse your oil or put fresh oil in again, so it's going to cost you 50 cents plus 4 quarts of oil. And 4 quarts of oil for this thing is probably somewhere around 50 bucks.
I love how 50 cents can become
$50
so much more.
like that.
Yeah.
That's why I replace them. It's
Yeah.
cheap insurance to make sure you don't have that issue anymore.
Gotcha.
These are the O-rings that seal the cap. There's actually 2 of them. They get put in here kind of one next to the other, and that's the cap that covers the filter.
Okay.
So it would be the oil filter cartridge galley cap.
Dude, there's no way I'm going to call that the right thing. We'll just accept that it's going to be called a cap.
This O-ring is for the access cover on that engine case right there, the big black center
This thing?
cap right there.
Okay.
That's the sealing O-ring for that. This is the one for the, it's either, I'm not sure which one's which, we'll figure it out when we get there. One of these is for that inspection cap, and one of them is for the starter motor,
Okay.
where it fits
The
in.
thing in the front? The little cylindrical? looking-
Yes, the starter. And then this O-ring is going to be for that sensor that's on this side engine cover that is also leaping oil.
Okay.
We're going to put a fresh O-ring in there. This is one goes right in this doohickey right here where all that is all nasty right there. That's going to go and replace that sealing O-ring there.
This seems like one of those episodes where like the parts didn't cost a lot. I mean, like spending $98 on a few pieces of rubber seems like a lot, but like
What it's going to do for you is substantial.
that,
You know.
and if somebody was doing this at home, like it would be one of those situations. If you got this done somewhere, like it seems like it's going to cost a lot of money, like in labor cost.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would, especially if you have to do the valve cover. This
forward.
valve cover gasket, to get to this valve cover gasket, you have to take off all the body work, drain all the coolant, remove the radiator fan, and all that
Oh,
stuff
right.
to get to it.
So that statement I just made, I forgot the fact that we have everything taken
I
off.
mean, you're talking, to replace this gasket, you're probably talking 3 hours in labor, plus fresh coolant. You know what I mean?
How much would that cost?
You're probably looking at like $500-600
How much does the gasket
to
cost?
replace this gasket.
How much does that gasket cost?
There's not prices on these tags. You'd have to look at the invoice.
That makes me
But
sick.
this, if you said this whole, all this stuff was $100 roughly,
Yeah.
this was probably half of it.
So $50.
Probably something like $40 for this. And this is the one that, because, you know, the spark plug goes dead smack straight down through the middle of the valve cover.
Okay.
So there's another seal that goes in between this cover and the cylinder head, that if these leak, it actually leaks down into the well where the spark plug goes. And if enough oil gets in there, instead of the spark plug sparking into the combustion chamber, it sparks against the inside of the cylinder head through the oil, because electricity goes to this the path of least resistance. So through the oil is easier to go through than the air gap in between the spark plug.
Yeah.
So it'll discharge itself before it fires a cylinder, and you'll lose a cylinder. It'll drop a cylinder, it won't fire that cylinder, so you'll be running on one because of a piece of rubber that let oil get down into the galley.
Yeah, I am glad
So-
I have a Yamaha motorcycle where
They have them too.
shit.
Anytime where the spark plug goes straight through the valve cover, you need to seal that. The way Ducati makes their valve covers, it's two separate pieces for the gasket. Some other manufacturers, this piece will be held on by like a string of rubber. So it all kind of just lay in,
That's pretty
depending on what's going on underneath.
right.
Sometimes it'll come that way, it'll be strung together, but you have to cut those pieces of rubber out.
Oh, it ain't supposed to go on.
It's
like
not
that.
supposed to go into the motor with those pieces on there. They're just there to hold everything together. So when you order a valve cover gasket, you get
Right.
everything you need to seal it, where these you can get separately from Ducati. So if you replace this and you don't replace this, when you break the seal, and you take the valve cover off and you break this seal from the motor, now it's more likely to leak. So for those of you out there that may be doing your own Ducati valve cover gaskets,
Bless you.
please make sure you source the spark plug seal as well.
We got all these, by the way, from just like our local like Ducati dealer.
Yes.
So that's
Yep.
where we bought all that stuff. Can you buy this online?
Probably.
Okay.
I've never tried to source Ducati parts online. I've always worked at a Ducati dealership, so.
Well, like with the mentality of somebody's watching this, they might be trying to do that. So I'm trying to like think through.
DucatiOmaha.com.
No.
There you go.
Thanks to our guy that floats the camera around / parts dude. I'll try to put a link to help anybody to get.
I mean,
Like
And they have full parts fish on there as well.
Oh,
Which is
then
really
we'll
hard to
put that
find.
link in the description. And farting hand gloves. Link for
All
the
right.
farting hand gloves in the description.
you ready, Chase? We got some work to do.
I'm not ready, but I will.
You're ready now.
I'm ready very quickly.
Okay, so where do you want to start?
Personally, I feel like we should start with the hardest thing that's going to be to do, so that we got a lot of energy.
There's
Punch it in the face.
There's two hard parts here, so which one do you
Okay.
want to start with? You want to start with the valve cover,
That's this guy.
or do you want to start with the stator cover?
So I
Or a
think
generator cover.
I think this is going to be the biggest pain in the dick. So I say we go valve cover guy.
Demonetized. And away we go.
Luckily, we're monetized on Patreon. Thank you, all those Patreon people who let me say things like that.
Oh,
Ruined.
all right. Let's, yeah. That's, it's going to be in our way a little bit.
It's a mess.
Oh no. Luckily, we have these blue rags that we got from this link in the description. I'm gonna stop.
Good idea.
Dude, my microphone wire is just like slowly feeding out of me. It's gonna like start just coming down eventually somehow. Okay. Oh, that'll solve that problem.
We'll probably leave this here because we'll probably wind up getting a little bit of oil out from behind some of this stuff that we're
Should we like...
doing today. You could probably just hang this over the top here just to keep, there you go.
Problem
Keep that out of the
solved.
way. That looks good there. Okay.
This looks like a bundle of absolutely no fun, TBH. So this is where the radiator was held on, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's just so I'm up to date with where we're going. All right. Yeah, if I don't move this mic wire, it's gonna start getting like pulled and tugged.
If you want, we have duct tape. I can just tape it to your back.
Yeah, no, because there's probably hair back there.
It won't be for long.
Yeah, right.
We can fix that.
No. Okay. So.
Get some tools out and take that cover off. Damn it, what are you waiting for?
No, I'm looking at what tools I need because I'm coming in. I'm not trying to do this like an ape, Brian. I've been told that I need to assess situations.
There you go. You're learning now. That's the words I wanted to hear you say.
All right, you know what? Let me get a flashlight so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, I'm probably a 3 Allen.
For where are you looking?
The 4 little corner bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We'd already removed these
Oh.
because they were holding on the radiator.
Wait,
But you still need the one for the two upper ones. But because we already removed these and they're just finger tight, what you can do is take that to your toolbox and figure out which size tool you need.
Well, it's not a 3.
It's 2.5.
Damn it, Brian. By the way, I'm not the only one that is absolutely awestruck that you know the amount of tools. Like, the comments agree with me. You guys know what I'm talking about. Nuts. Like,
I don't know. I don't look at it that way. It's like, you know what
you're
you know.
not supposed to look at it that way.
You know what tools you need to assemble, disassemble all your camera rigs for the most part, right?
Well,
90% of the time, you know what tool it takes to take apart your own personal rigs.
Yes, if we're talking
Because
like
you're-
camera car.
Because you're used to doing it.
Yeah, but like
and-
these things are so complicated though.
But there's only so many different size pieces of hardware.
Yeah.
And eventually you get an eye, a feel for what's there, or you memorize what's there. It comes with time.
What's it called? Flat rate tech? I mean,
That's really where it stems from. If you can't remember what tools you need for what, you waste a lot of time.
right.
So that is really just going to allow you to pull this out of the way.
Okay, I was gonna say, do we need to take off the little plastic?
There you go. And we'll just leave that there. This one is really fun.
Well-
I'm not gonna
Is that a spark plug?
make you do this because I know how bad it is, and I don't want you to ruin anything.
Those are
Good reasons?
for me not to
Okay,
do it, yeah.
so this is the spark plug wire. So this goes all the way down through the valve cover, through the cylinder head, and hooks onto the back of the spark plug.
Okay.
Okay, that's your connection to the
Can you
spark
remove
plug.
that without removing the spark plug? Like it
Yes.
just pops off?
Yeah, it pops off. Well, it doesn't just pop off, but it does pop off. This wire has been on here, I'm almost positive, since they assembled the bike.
Right.
So this bike has got a few thousand miles on it. This engine has been heated and cooled a bunch of times. So this piece of rubber is now really, really stuck to the spark plug.
Okay.
So thankfully we don't have a radiator in our way because you could actually get to this spark plug if the radiator was still there. There's a little access cover because there's an upper and a lower radiator on this machine.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
So trying to remove this spark plug wire while the radiator is on it is extremely difficult.
Right.
And the reason is because you really have to give it a pretty good pull to get it to release from the plug.
And then you don't have a lot of room to get the leverage.
Or if you wanted to try and grab it with something so you can give it some leverage, there's no place to pry against because the radiator's there and you can't pry in the radiator, you'll damage it.
But it's able to be removed without removing the radiator.
It is. It's just no fun at all. Can we just grab a cutter so I can release these zip ties because it'll just make it a little bit easier?
We definitely got one of them.
I would let you fight with this, Chase, but I think people are done with watching you fight with stuff for no reason.
Well, it sucks for them because we got a lot more episodes.
Okay, so now there's a little bit more wire to kind of
Okay.
work with. So try and give this a twist to see if it'll help release it, which I doubt. Oh, that one actually came free. Man, I should talk about how hard this stuff is more often because when I do that, it comes apart.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if this one's hard. Because
Yeah, because I have a question. How the hell we'll get that.
yeah, this one's on here good.
To be fair, he didn't say this one was easy.
There it goes.
So was that one easier than
That was still easier than I normally have had experience with. So what happens is the inside of the here, almost glues itself to the porcelain part of the spark plug.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you, for instance, because we have new spark plugs.
Can you hold it up again?
Huh?
Hold it for 2 seconds.
So these are our spark plugs.
The white part is the porcelain that
Yes.
you're talking about?
So this goes on here and it clicks in place. So this rubber part will literally stick to the porcelain.
Right. Okay.
And that's just here. So if we had went and heated and cooled this thing 1,000 times, like this thing probably has, maybe 500 times,
Right.
it would not have wanted to come off that easily. So
No, oh wait, we're not gonna have to. I was about to say, like, what? We're gonna have to take it off. But okay.
well, you know, I mean, we are not replacing that valve cover gasket.
Right.
And I guess technically we're not replacing the spark plugs at this moment right now either. So it's better to not let anything fall down in there, so I just put the plug wire back in there.
Smart.
Wait, there's a. Wait, that's not. I'm looking for an 8, maybe.
Did that not fit?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No. To be honest.
What do you mean?
A 9 has a little bit of wiggle room, but an 8 is too skinny. Yeah, has to be a 9, right? Now, Brian, if I'm about to ruin something,
I'll let you know. I'll let you know before you break
Okay.
it.
Man, good to know.
That's what I'm here for, to make sure you don't wreck anything.
Get it? Because like rebuild. Full circle on that one.
What's the torque spec on those, you think?
Very light.
Really?
Yeah. They're probably 10 newton meters.
Wow.
12 at the very most, but I think they're 10. They may even be less than 10.
Do we have specs?
We can get specs, we just don't have them readily available at the moment. You'll be able to get past the tire if you flip that wrench over. So, yes, there you go. So the offset's in the opposite direction.
Hey, you can walk to this side.
Huh?
So you can come over to this side and do it.
Well, my thought process was like, I'll let Luke hold that area so that you can record. Like, I was, you know, I
you're
was
just
thinking
being
of
kind
the
to the
entire
cameraman?
team. Yeah, gotta be kind to the cameraman.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
At the end of the day, you're the only reason people get to watch this show. So.
Thanks for refreshing my memory on that burden. Responsibility.
I thought I was being nice over here.
Hey, if you mess this up, like,
True.
nobody's gonna get to
Yeah.
see anything cool.
Nobody's gonna get to see anything. Dude, these things are not messing around. These things are on here. Like, they're not getting easier to undo.
Why do you think that is?
Because they have, no, Loctite would be that initial, right? Oh, the Loctite is getting gummed up as I'm, okay, there you go.
I'm not entirely idiotic.
Wait, what is this bolt in the middle? Is that like holding the whole thing on?
Yep.
I'm tight.
Well, do I need to undo this? Because if this is holding them all on, then I'm just like playing games over here.
Well, you got to take them all out anyway, so
That's not gonna like,
stop you from taking those bolts out?
Yeah.
No. It will stop the valve cover from coming off, but it's not going to stop you from taking those bolts out.
it's bad that I look back on moments previous and I had a little wrench in my hand and didn't think about grabbing this little boy, so.
So where did you put that bolt that I gave you to test fit your tool?
Right here.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put it over here where it belongs.
Okay. I didn't know. There's that one.
Where's that one from?
There's two of them.
You're misunderstanding what I asked you the first time then.
What?
I handed you a bolt
Uh-huh.
and said, see if this is the tool.
Right. And that's when I grabbed the 2.5.
Right. Now where did that bolt go?
One of them is the one I gave you. The other one was the other one that was in, like, they're the same bolt.
Okay, so then there was a third.
No, there's only two. There's 1, 2.
1, 2, right, on here, and then the one that I gave you. 1, 2, and then the one that I gave you, because these were finger tight.
Do we not have 4?
Is this it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they have the same little mark in them. Dude, what kind of Loctite is on this bad boy?
It's marinara sauce, bro.
Alright. Alright, we're gonna have to take an ease break because that one. Is that normal for that to be on that hard? Or that it'd be like not loosening up?
Did you take that other bolt out already? Is there a lot of Loctite on it?
There's no Loctite on this.
That's because it all stayed in the hole.
Okay.
You can see up here it had red on it,
Right.
but the rest of it probably
Yeah.
stayed where the threads go.
It just like feels sketch that that bolt's not like.
Yeah, as long as it's not like getting tighter and tighter,
Right.
you're usually okay. As long as it's like constant the whole way.
Feels sketch with it not like coming loose.
So you took one of these out already. Did the washer come out with it?
It did, yeah.
Okay, so take this one and put it with it.
Gracias, mi amigo. The problem, Brian, is that when you do stuff, you make it look really simple and really easy. And like, oh, there's no friction here. But people need to understand.
I can hear it by the grunts and groans in your voice right now.
I know, but I mean like... Okay, it's getting easy now. Not easy yet. So now this whole thing is being held on by this one bolt. Gracias.
Are you telling me or asking me?
Kind of a ask-ish tell type thing.
We got to see the Ducati valve train now.
Yay! Ooh, okay. I'm just gonna.
See what happens.
It's my least favorite thing to say. Can a man get a flathead?
No.
Okay. Oh shit.
This is the hard side because it has these parts here.
Right.
So it's more rubber, so that's stuck on there real good. Dun, dun, dun.
Yay, Ducati valve trains. I'm gonna put this over here.
That's pretty.
It is interesting to see. Okay.
Glad we don't have to mess with any of that stuff. Let's clean up the surfaces and put it all back together again.
Right. Alrighty.
Because there's a handful of specialty tools necessary to mess with any of that stuff. So
You want to slow-mo that?
Yeah, I think this is a good slow-mo time.
pretty sweet in there, huh?
I would agree with that.
I didn't touch it. I didn't do that.
So you could actually see by where the sealant was in here, where this valve cover was leaking.
Brian, stop saying stuff that we need to record when we're not recording.
So if you see here,
You better grab that camera. He's going to keep going. You know he is.
can you see it? Where it's dry along this edge?
I don't see it.
Hold on, Brian. Hold on? I couldn't hear you. Could you say that one more time? I don't think I quite got it.
All right, Chase, scoot back a little bit. Luke, bring the camera in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could actually see along this edge, see it's dry right at the very edge. And then all of a sudden you get down here and the oil comes right down to the very edge. So it was sealed all the way along here until you get to right about here. And then that's where the oil weep started. It didn't seal all the way up to the very edge. And that's why you got a little bit of weepage coming from that valve cover gasket.
So is that something that came from the factory like that? Or?
It happens.
Oh, okay.
It really does. I mean, it's almost impossible to predict how it's going to seal. You just do the best you can and cross your fingers is pretty much the deal. And it'll look good for the first, 5 or 10 times you heat cycle the motor, but as the rubber starts to heat and swell and cool and contract and swell and contract and swell and contract, and then it breaks that seal.
Okay, so
And
that's not like a
then-
fault.
It's not a fault from the factory. It is what it is. It's a natural occurrence between rubber and metal, and swelling and shrinking from heat and cool. So,
Well, I'm glad we took the bike apart so that we,
which is why you put that extra little layer of sealant in there,
as like a just in case factor.
because that stuff has the ability to expand and contract without breaking the seal much better than just a solid piece of rubber.
Ah,
That's why you always go in and you put a little bit of gasket sealer in there too, which you can see they had on there right here. They only did this side of the cylinder head.
the complicated side?
Yep. So all the black sealant that you see here is just a little extra protection, and they probably just come right to about here and stop,
Right.
and then here is where it was weeping.
Yeah, man. You can.
You can literally,
This is a
you can
good
literally see the dry spot. I mean, the oil is coming down now and it's starting to cover it, but that's one of those things that when you're taking stuff apart and you're looking for faults as to why this or why that happened,
Yeah.
when you take the cover off, you need to immediately inspect what's in front of you
Because that's your moment to.
to see where the issue is, because then after that, like this is happening, the oil just kind of gets everywhere.
Right.
So, and if it's not important to you, that's where it's leaking from, and you're going to do whatever you have to do to seal it anyway, and it doesn't really matter to you, then it doesn't really matter. You just rip it apart and put it back together the right way and call it done.
So like for you, if you were working on this one, that's what you would just be like, oh, okay.
Now, if I was working on this bike, in most cases, it would be a warranty issue, right? If the guy brought it in and said he had an oil leak, he was finding oil on his bike, and we sent an email to Ducati, they would want proof.
Oh,
So they would want to see where it was weeping from and why it was weeping.
right.
And that's just for them. There's a couple of reasons behind that. The first reason is they want to verify there's actually an issue, and people just aren't, pulling their leg.
Right.
And then the other thing is well, if there's an issue with build quality, they need to know where it's coming from, so in the future they know that, okay, they need to do a slightly better job sealing that area.
Right.
So there's a couple reasons behind it.
It's a little warm in here, huh?
What's that?
A little bit.
I can solve that problem. Actually, we're gonna do the
The
AC
maneuver.
thing.
Fucking hot, man.
It's getting a little warmer as we go too.
Yeah. Along this,
Holding that rig.
camera around is a little exercise.
I'm gonna reposition this microphone right the fuck now before the shit continues. But I will mute myself so as to not cause discomfort.
in your ears. Yeah, I thought you were saying you're gonna mute yourself the whole episode.
Man, people would love the fuck out of that. Chase, you talk too much. Just like Brian did.
People said that?
Dude, fucking course they do.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's not nice. This is your show.
Well, and also, what fun. I mean, I'm sure people would gain a lot of knowledge, but like, to just like.
They'd get sick of me
blaze through
too.
and not have fun.
They'd get
like,
sick of me too, for sure.
I know. But you know, people are people. People always gonna be people. People gonna people, haters don't hate, you know what I'm saying?
Chase 2019.
People gonna people, haters don't hate.
I almost,
You almost went into something?
Yep.
Almost started working?
I almost got into something that I shouldn't get into.
It's only a live stream, you know.
I know, that's why I bit my tongue.
Oh, caught on. Okay,
Yeah.
we're here now. Got it. All right, let's keep on rolling.
Keep on keeping on.
Let's keep on keeping on.
Just ignore that whole
All right, I guess.
whole thing.
Okay, I've unmuted myself now. Slow-mo shots are done. New gloves are on. Microphone, no. Trying to cut me, bro?
Cut you, man.
All right, what you handed me a razor blade for those of you that didn't see or couldn't see the thinness of metal. Wait, are we doing the scrape?
No, I hand you the razor blade so you can cut yourself. Why do you think I handed it to you? I'm not going to cut you. I'm going to watch you do it yourself.
Oh my God, I love it. I love the fact that you just said that. I hope it makes the edit. I really do.
Oh man.
Okay, so I see the initially to be fair to me, which nobody ever is. I didn't see the little Scraper McScraperson situation over here.
I hope that does not make the cut.
What?
Scraper McScraperson. RE10.
Dude,
I was about to ask you, is that a technical term or?
the amount of times I use words like that or
Anytime-
calling shit baby,
Anytime you put a Mick on anything,
it does what? It does what?
it
Tell
makes me cringe.
Okay, well, you know what?
That's when you become cringy to me.
Well, you know what? An entire company
Cringy.
has made billions off after calling shit Mick after it. So you can, and anybody else that is cringed can go Mick fuck yourself.
I hope that makes the edit.
That will not make the edit. Demonetized. Okay.
Wow.
There's not a lot of stuff to scrape off though.
You can come on this side and scrape what you really need to scrape off.
Okay. Show me. Show me, Yoda.
Show me the way.
Oh, the little extra sealant stuff.
Look at the big brand on Brad.
Are you guys making more references that I don't understand? That
Yep.
I'm not gonna talk to you the rest of the episode now. Still gonna watch Pulp Fiction?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I know.
Chase, I think after we're done filming, we're going to duct tape you to the chair in the office and make you watch Pulp Fiction.
I mean, you don't have to duct tape me. I should love
Yeah,
watching
we're going
movies.
to duct tape your eyelids open.
Yeah.
That would be uncomfortable.
I'll hit you with another reference you don't get. We're gonna
Okay.
duct tape you to the chair and pour gasoline all over you.
Let me know in the comments.
Same director, man.
Sam, dude, how do you think, if I hadn't seen the movie, how do you think I know who the director is?
You don't know who directed Pulp Fiction?
No.
How about From Dusk Till Dawn?
Reservoir
How about
Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs?
So this gasket. We're cutting it off, boys. On the next episode of Chase Doesn't Get the Movie Reference or the director of the movie. You can find out in the comments. Be active. Let Chase know how
how
bad.
about Grindhouse? Planet Terror?
There's a place called Grindhouse Killer Burger in Atlanta that I highly recommend. They make delicious burgers.
They make great burgers, but you don't know where the whole Grindhouse thing came from?
No, but you guys want to go get burgers one day? Because I'm totally down.
You have to
I'm
watch
down
the
too.
movie first.
They probably show it in the
Yeah,
restaurant
have it on
all
TV.
day.
That would make a lot of sense.
So what was the other half of Grindhouse? It was Planet Terror and Death Proof.
Yeah, Death Proof is
Never
awesome.
seen Death Proof? I like Planet Terror too. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. All those are great.
I just found a magnet.
Dude, this is a tight little area.
Yes.
Hey.
Do you want to make that easier for yourself?
Yeah,
You could take that battery box off.
you are right.
So see the rubber piece that's in the inside of the battery box?
Yes.
Remove the rubber piece, or just slide it out of the way because there's more hardware behind it.
There's more hardware behind this. It ain't coming out.
Just peel it up. There you go. Is there like one bolt here?
No, that was
Oh.
a little.
All right, so there's one down here,
Okay.
and then there should be one or
Over the
two at
top?
the top.
Dude, I would love to make this easier on myself right now. Holy shit.
Well, it's good because you're going to have to take that battery box off to remove the stator cover anyway.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, sure you were.
Do we have the
Yes.
baby ratchet?
No.
What size is that ratchet?
Tiny.
What size is that ratchet?
Quarter inch.
There you go. Did he whisper that to you and I didn't hear it?
No, he didn't. Camera did. Wait.
It smells like quarter inch.
Smell. You can't smell a quarter inch. Silly.
Now make sure there's no, shoulder washers or anything when you're taking those bolts out that are going to fall and we're not going to lose them or anything.
I will make sure to grab it the moment that it pops out. God, screw you, hose. Jeez. Trying to do stuff in a time-efficient manner here.
For crying out loud.
Somebody. You doing another movie reference that I'll never understand?
Maybe.
Always. All right. Freedom. Whoa. Nope. No freedom. All right. There looks like to be a ground at the bottom, and now there's lots of cabling, but boop and
There's a tab in it. Don't just rip it off. Okay.
okay. Those are not on it any longer. Wait.
Okay.
There's a. I'm working my way, Brian. Working my way. Working my way downtown.
There's another bolt in the chase.
Oh. Well, also these are connected.
You could have left them even connected.
You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing where you look at me like I'm doing something wrong, Brian. Don't feed me that.
I'm waiting for the camera to come back so I can
Oh shit.
knowledge you up a little bit.
Oh man.
Sit down. I'm about to hit you with some knowledge.
All right, before you pull that thing off completely, you get the piece of hardware out of there and let it dangle.
You know the flashlight this side? It's like staring at the sun.
Is it my bright ego that you're staring at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Stop right there.
Oh,
Let's take this off too if we can here. It's there we go. Just to get this stupid thing out of the way.
do we need to get new brake rotors? These things look disgusting.
They're just surface rust. But if we're getting new wheels, we'll probably get rotor.
Oh. Okay.
And if we don't, then those are cleanable. It's not a big deal. They're just dirty.
All right.
Okay. Battery positive terminal.
Yes.
Battery positive terminal number 2.
Oh, that's not like an aftermarket thing?
No. Okay, so this positive terminal runs the majority of the electronics on the motorcycle.
Okay.
This one runs the rest. So you can hook this wire up and start the bike and ride it. But what you won't have is ABS or traction control
Holy shit, really?
or any of that stuff is all powered by this wire.
All right, kids.
So
No
if
doubt.
you're changing your battery on your Ducati yourself, please take a look and make sure if there are 2 positive terminals that you reinstall 2 positive terminals when you put everything back together again. Because leaving this wire off will cause you a trip to the dealership and whatever they charge to
Hundreds of
hook the
dollars,
bike up to the computer to find out what's wrong with it. For somebody to go like, oh, the whole ABS side isn't working, the second positive terminal is probably off the battery, and it'll take them 4 minutes to fix it, and
you $500.
15 minutes to hook it up to the computer and figure out what's going on with it, and you'll pay what you pay, whatever your shop is going to charge you.
It will make my entire episode if somebody in the comments
Was like,
fixes that shit before they go and spend tons of money on their bike to get it fixed.
it'd be worth it for me to
Right.
just say it. If one person,
Yeah.
if it saves that one person that trip to the dealership
Right.
because their ABS system stopped working right after they changed their battery,
There you go.
and all you need to do is put that one on the
Okay.
positive terminal post as
Good
well.
job, Ducati.
Okay, so now this is floppy enough that you can get to everything.
Right. Okay.
So you don't have to undo any of that stuff.
Now that
You just move it out of the way.
knowledged us up.
Knowledged up. Wow.
Yeah, it's much easier to get to stuff now. Obviously. Nice job on the knowledge, Brian.
Thank you.
Also,
Good piece of information.
I would say it's a clutch move, but we're not to that point in the video yet. Man, I'm gonna make such good dad jokes. I can't wait.
I like how cheesy jokes are now known as dad jokes.
Yep,
They're just cheesy jokes to me.
that's fine.
Because you know what, Chase? You just threw that out there, and you ain't no dad yet.
That's true. That's true. That's
Not saying you haven't been trying or anything, but
all I'm saying is I can't wait to be able to make the joke.
to be able to say jokes
In
like
its
that
true form.
and then say that it's a dad joke and not be lying.
No, I can't wait to have kids and then embarrass them in front of their friends when they come over and I make really what I feel like are great jokes. It'll be okay. Nobody has to agree with me. If you read my comments on my videos, you know that. Are we getting like every piece of black off? Because like some of these are like ingrained.
Right? What do we usually use to get the...
Scotch-Brite. Mother. Do we have to put anything on the Scotch-Brite or can I just... Cool.
Just very, very gently with your Scotch-Brite. I would use the red. Or the silver, if that's a silver in your hand. The gray.
It's a, yeah,
The gray. Yeah, the gray works.
cool.
The gray is softer than the red, and the red is softer than the green. If I remember correctly, in coarseness from most to least coarse for Scotch-Brite, it's like green, red, gray, white.
Green, red, gray, white.
Yes, white is the softest, green is the roughest.
Oh yeah, Scotch-Brite.
Yeah, took it right up. So you also want to make sure that you get this stuff
Those little side things.
right there off too, because you'll probably need the razor. Well, no, I took it off. The razor will probably get the majority of it off, and then you won't waste a piece of Scotch-Brite trying to rub all that big heavy stuff off.
Well,
Too
Brian,
late.
let's be real. This piece of Scotch-Brite it's going to live its best life in this moment, and then, just like the lifespan of a fly. Dead.
Mm.
Speaking of which, maybe the one in here is dead already.
I didn't kill it yet, so probably not.
We need a fly gun. Somebody in the comments, send us a
50
fly
cal?
gun.
Dude.
No.
What's a fly gun?
Don't they make little...
It's called a bug assault gun.
Yeah, somebody send us
Oh,
a
it
bug
shoots like
assault gun.
salt or something like that. I've seen them.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need in this garage, actually, because
Assault gun.
we've already had a
Oh, you already said.
Nerf gun.
You already said.
There's one chance that Jacob won't put that in the video. Hopefully this video runs really long. He has to cut it
It's on a
short.
live stream, bro. It's out
Ah, fuck.
there. It's already out there.
Didn't think about that one. Damn it.
Somebody's already got it Googled up on their screen.
It's totally fine if nobody sends us one. You know, it'd probably just clog the garage up anyway, to be honest. Brian
It's definitely going to leave marks in Chase, that's for sure.
That's so not needed.
Get a little rock salt in the chest.
Rock salt behind the ear.
Jesus Christ, guys.
I mean, it's meant to kill flies. It's
I'm
not.
gonna be over here focused on like cleaning something and get a rock salt.
We're gonna have target practice on Chase like we did with the Nerf gun. You get all
Chase,
dressed up.
If you don't do this quickly, you got 5 seconds before you get rock salted.
Rock assaulted.
Nailed it. No, these are right here. What we're talking about are perfect examples of stuff that will not make it into the edit. But so only build stream people get the or like hear this stupid
to mention the rock assaulted.
Right, because Jacob's gonna be like, ain't no fucking way that's going into an edit. Okay, I think I mean, you can look on it if you want, but I think we're pretty good. So, or do you agree before we continue? There we go. And we're gonna have to do the same thing on the other end, right?
We'll see in a minute, won't we?
There's only one way to find out.
Just in case there's any dust from the Scotch-Brite left behind. So do you guys want a little,
God, I'm so thankful we don't have to go into that.
you want a little Panigale valve train knowledge?
You know that people want that. Give them the option of having it, Brian.
All right. Well, so the way this engine is designed, the valve train is run by both gear and chain. And that kind of sounds weird, but this is your cam chain, and these are your cam gears. And as you can see, the chain doesn't go around the gears. So technically, the chain is not directly running the cam gears. What it does run is it runs this, I guess you could call it maybe an idler gear. It's not an idler gear because it's all one piece, but the chain runs this gear, and this gear is toothed to the cam gears themselves way back down here. I don't know if you can see it from that side. You may have to try and get it from the other side, but on the back of this gear is another set of gears cut in there. See that gear down there?
Yes.
So the chain spins this gear, and this gear drives these gears. So these two camshafts rotate in opposite directions. One goes one way, one goes the other.
Right.
And what that does is it balances the camshafts. So there's less shake and vibration in the motor. One cancels out the other rotational wise.
Says a lot.
So it
'cause you kinda
smooths
shake
out. Well, they shake a lot under power below a certain RPM.
Oh.
But that is power deliverance that makes them shake. I'm just talking about how smooth the motor runs all on its own.
Oh, I see.
What it does is it gives them less of a reason to have a balancer shaft in the motor.
Is there not one? Or
They use stuff like this where they have counter-rotating shafts, which you can kind of
Right.
consider to be a balancer, but they do it in a slightly different way. Instead of adding an extra shaft in there, or putting like a big weight on one or both of these camshafts to smooth everything out,
yeah.
they just counter-rotate them. It's a little bit easier. There's less stuff inside the motor spinning, makes the engine lighter, all those other good things.
Good for Ducati.
It's pretty cool little
It is, yeah.
setup there. And then these little bridges right here actually feed oil. So that little hole right there, there's one right there, there's one on the top here, there's one on the top here, there's one on the side there,
Right.
and there's one on the side there. When the motor is running and the oil pump builds pressure, pushes these little tiny passageways in the motor and squirts oil out of these little tiny holes and oils down all these moving parts all the time.
Jesus Christ.
So, if there was an instance in this machine where it gobbled up the clutch, like our bobber did,
Yeah.
and blocked the pickup for oil,
Oh, shit.
and now you've decreased the amount of oil pressure behind it, you start starving all these things of oil. And then
That was so...
this stuff goes bang in a hurry if you
Yeah.
if you deny it oil.
Holy crap.
So, where these camshafts run, these are the cam caps, these two pieces right here. Where the camshafts run in the cylinder head is referred to as a journal. So the cam journals
Okay.
are also fed oil pressure.
Right.
So there's no bearing in there. It's a steel camshaft running in an aluminum journal. And the only way to keep the steel from destroying the aluminum is there's a really thin layer of pressurized oil that separates the steel from the aluminum. I mean, it's tens of thousandths of an inch of space in between those two.
Right.
It's probably more hundreds of thousandths of an inch.
So just add the little bit of
That
protection between.
little tiny film of oil is what keeps the camshaft from beating the cylinder head cam journals to pieces. It just runs on a little thin film of oil
All right. So make
at
sure.
10,000 RPM.
Right.
So make sure your oil is clean,
Yeah.
fresh, filled to proper level.
Dude, that's so important on a
Yes.
bike like this. Holy
Yes.
crap.
Whereas, automobiles, they have the room
Yeah.
to make things much bigger and heavier. And instead of having plain journals like that, in some cases, they have ball bearings.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I mean, some car engines run the same way this do, where it's just a steel cam and an aluminum journal, and they use oil pressure to run it. But even, for instance, Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo's camshafts, BRPs, they're actually made by Rotax. So those Rotax engines that they use in their watercraft, their camshafts run on ball bearings.
Jesus
They
Christ.
don't run on a plain journal like that. So
That is fucking nutty.
pretty crazy how finely tuned, and I consider that tuning.
Yeah.
Because if that is incorrect, if you don't have the proper amount of oil pressure, it wreaks havoc. If you have too much oil pressure,
Yeah.
where the oil pressure comes up through the journal, if you have too much pressure, it pushes the camshaft up against the top half of the journal instead of letting it float in the center. So all these things matter. It's very important to have those numbers correct.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet indeed. Okay. So.
Now we clean up the valve cover,
Right. Yeah.
and then we put we'll put a new very light bead of sealant
Right.
in here. And honestly, I wouldn't bother going across the top
With sealant.
with sealant.
As
I would
long as you
do
get up there.
these three sides,
Right.
and then you should be just fine.
Holy shit! That's all the time. Is
So I
that
was
why
like-
you walked
yeah, I
over?
was like, well, what's going on?
What's falling to pieces?
Oh, I had water. I hid it
Alright.
from myself.
Hmm?
I hid the water from myself. I love when I do
You
that.
were too sneaky.
You want to grab that adult thing?
Yeah, where's it at?
Should be in there.
My,
I thought it was in there at least.
is that there? Yes.
There we go.
I can say that everything in here looks really good.
I'm fucking glad to hear that. used that yet, or is it?
I used it episode 2 maybe.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm just rinsing and repeating what we did over there. Take the gasket off and then.
Make sure there's no sealant in there.
Right.
Trash can.
Put that on for now.
What focus do you put this on? Face detect?
Yeah, but you can change it if you want. It's whatever it was on the last wedding Heather and I went to.
Okay.
Do you hit the Q button? Yeah, you hit there, and then that top one, and then I would do the second one. Yeah, then hit the back arrow to set it in.
Cool.
Cool. Oh, I don't have the plug on it to make it automatically record. Interesting. Have you been hitting? You just have to hit record.
I have
on
to. Oh yeah, I have to hit record on this.
Yeah, I forgot to plug the.
Is this working?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying like. 'cause
Oh,
I had
for
it set up.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm just so used to doing it on the screen. I've been doing it.
Yeah. I'll. I forgot to do it. We'll do it next time. We've still got it.
Yeah, you better. So we had it in Thursday or Friday? You texted me Thursday and then today you said Friday.
Friday for sure. Maybe. I'll tell you. when we get
Definitely.
So Thursday. You could just say, you have plans for Friday, we need to do it on Thursday.
I gotta check my phone. I think we're leaving Friday. I don't know. Whatever I said earlier.
You said morning,
Yeah.
so.
I'm gonna go ride motorcycles this weekend.
Why are you trying to act like a motorcyclist, Luke?
I know.
Does like that little black part matter, honestly?
I guess that's kind of up to you. Personally, I would scrape it, but I'm just fanatical about stuff.
Yes, you are.
So,
But
there's another way to do it besides a razor blade.
Oh, that's gonna help in here too. Broke it.
Wham!
Is it supposed to rain this weekend?
Here it is. There's like 40-50% chance around here this weekend. I don't know where it's coming from, whether it's coming from the north or from the west, but that's all I need. My lawn finally stopped growing because it's been so dry out, and now we're going to get 3 days of rain. It's going to be Jumanji in a day. 24 hours, it'll be, shin high.
You ever seen Jumanji Chase?
Fuck you. So I'm removing this old one, putting it in the garbage can.
Where'd you put the other gasket?
In the garbage can.
Okay, you just pointed there.
No, yes, garbage can is where it lives. Okay, we have a. Top of this is disgusting, but
Clean it.
Clean it.
what is that? Brake cleaner? Is that what we use for that?
Is that what we have?
We have tons of stuff. We have rubbing alcohol. We have mineral spirits. We got
Yes.
dye by cancer brake cleaner.
Remove your fingernails cleaner.
That's a carburetor cleaner, is remove your fingernails.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
Yeah. It's way more disgusting when you're actually the one with the gummy fingernails.
No.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it is
Wow.
is like hard. But when you take your gloves off and you do this,
No.
and you could like roll pieces of your fingernail off, dude, it's horrible. Horrible. Huh.
I'm gonna put gloves.
Huh.
I'm gonna put eye.
It only burns for a couple of seconds if you get it in your eye. Maybe a couple of minutes.
Jesus. All right.
You're just gonna make a huge mess up here. You don't want to get that stuff anyplace else. So spray the rag.
Yeah,
spray the rag.
Right
People say it's,
This guy said, thoughts on calling this season's bike the Ducati.
Paningly.
No, pants. I can't even. Like panty dropper.
Panty dropper.
now. No, it's God. It's Paningly.
I kind of like it.
Paningly, and you can't tell me.
Pantagale dropper.
He doesn't know that reference either.
You guys and your references, I swear.
It's all been said before.
You ever been to a trivia night, Chase?
No, I'm not.
Don't go.
I can tell.
Don't go. You'd be like, I don't know what these people are talking about. Drink.
Yeah.
Drink.
No, you just sit there and eat wings all night.
Okay.
I'm down with
You
that.
know that like when they do trivia night, they have like bomb deals on beer and wings.
Yeah, but we tend to make our wings here, so that's why we don't typically go to places for wings.
You know food is way better when you don't have to cook it yourself.
I disagree. 100% disagree. You feel like I feel more satisfaction in eating food that's really good if I made it, and that way, not only do I know everything that went into it, but I also get satisfaction of like, dude, I made food that didn't suck. Hell yeah. Go me, I guess.
Food is so much better when you don't have to cook it yourself.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the comments. Do you prefer food that's made for you or that you made? I already know the answer to that.
Please leave a comment.
Please leave a comment and like
Activates
this video.
YouTube's algorithm.
Help us trick YouTube's algorithm.
Algorithm.
Nothing gets past you guys.
Algorithm. That's a new word. Paningly and algorithm.
Welcome to the Chase on Two Wheels YouTube channel, where literacy doesn't matter.
You have 2 bottles of water over there?
Yeah, I know, I've already said something about that, dude.
I didn't say
I was
anything
like,
about
I'll hid it from myself.
I was looking for mine and there were 2 over. I'm like, did he steal mine? And then I remember you saying that you hid yours on yourself. So.
All right, I've cleaned this to a degree that anybody that owns this bike will probably never see it. So.
Perfect. You know who will see it?
Huh?
You know who will see it?
You?
Everybody that watches this.
Well, guess what? It's not perfect, so you can suck it.
Wow.
Now, so when we move into our dedicated workshop space, we're going to have to get a parts washer.
So a parts washer, I could just be like, bloop.
Nah, quite.
Oh, well, close. Let me clean my mess so we can get back to this episode. I want a parts washer that I can just dip things in and it just... All right. Brake cleaner gloves, done. I'll leave this out. I feel like we might need it more.
Good idea.
Ah, I love being told I had a good idea. It doesn't happen very often, but man, it feels good to hear it. I'm just going to bring these over here. I feel like I'll save myself this time.
That's a good idea, too.
Yeah. Look at that. 2 good ideas in a relatively short period of time.
Food delivered is the best.
Food delivered is the best?
Yep.
That might be... Who said that? They might be correct.
Justin Hill.
Well, whoever said food delivery is the best, I changed my answer to it's food delivery, then cook it yourself, then order it at a restaurant. What is happening with this glove, though?
Maybe
Brian, you look like you disagree with me.
Maybe your hands have grown.
I'm just pissed off that you agreed with him and not me, because pretty much what I said is the same thing.
No,
you don't
the
make
delivery aspect?
you don't make your own delivery food.
No.
Food is better
You don't
when
have-
somebody else makes it for
But you
you.
don't have to deal with other people at a restaurant when you get it delivered at home.
That's fine, but I didn't specify going to a restaurant and ordering it. I just said
I
food.
concede to that. You were correct.
That
You
was-
did not specify.
Concede.
I spelled
about
an answer
to-
that I should have ever used.
It's like, wow.
I'm about to collect Chase's teeth over here in a second.
I'm about to deliver a fist.
Yes! You know why that's not going on your hand, right? Because your hands are sweaty.
Well, that's because I'm nervous, bro.
Just stick your hand in front of the fan for a second
Okay.
and then put your glove on.
Life hacks by Brian. Jeez, bro. I'm not even.
I missed it. I missed it.
Luckily, I've got indestructible steel-toed shoes that don't slip, or else I may have fallen. And I can't
Didn't you
get
just
up.
slip?
Huh?
Didn't you just slip?
No.
You tripped.
I just basically kicked this tire. I don't even know why we have these tires in here.
Me neither.
Like, they need to... would you like a 2012 Yamaha V-Star 1300 tire? Shoot me an email at justkidding@chaseontwowheels.com. I should get that.
That go on a little better?
Yeah, good thinking, Brian. I want to give you credit where credit's due. All right. What? Why are you laughing? I was giving you credit. Oh, God. I don't trust
All right,
anything.
let's get back to work.
I don't trust like that.
Okay. I got sealant. I got a gasket. I'm gonna...
No,
Okay.
you're gonna on that side,
Ah. And then put this on there and this on that.
and this is, I mean,
I'm just gonna go over... You're gonna put some on. Shit.
Dude, what's going on today?
Oh my God.
Smells good.
No, it doesn't. Oh my God.
oh my God, here comes the fucking comments. Chase wearing the respirator again.
Oh shit.
Thanks, B.
Feel how cold this is now. Isn't that cool?
It was, to be fair, that was cool.
Hope everybody at home listening in has eardrums after that.
Ideally, Jacob would be the person to stop that from happening, so hopefully they do.
No, live stream.
Oh, R.I.P. R.I.P. to everything you have. All right. We're dabbing on the sides and on the bottom.
Thumbnail.
Ooh, we should grab the thumbnail before we put this back on and have that opened up.
Okay.
That'd be pretty.
Pretty rad.
It would be rad. What a. I think there's a guy named that.
Okay.
Darth Chase. Dude, live stream's coming through with the comments today. I love it. I love it.
You're totally here for it. Do we not need any sealant?
No, we're going to need sealant, yes. So, you're going to put a tiny bit on here,
On the black part?
not the flat spot, but the grooved part,
Whole thing's black. What are you talking about? You gonna pour it on his hands?
and then we'll stick that in there.
Use it as like a glue.
Yes, so it doesn't move.
Right.
And then we're going to do from this corner down in this galley, down in this galley, and then all the way around up to this point. Try not to fill the holes.
Right. Don't fill the hole.
Don't fill the holes.
And we're not doing the top because oil probably won't get up there and there's no real need.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, it'll splash around up there, but the rubber seal, the gasket, will seal that from
Right.
leaking out of there. There's no pressure inside that cover, so you're not stopping oil pressure from leaking. It's just, it just lives there splashing around.
Right.
But it is super duper hot and super duper thin at operating temperature, so
Right.
super duper.
What's that from?
Some cartoon.
Sounds familiar.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to do the sides. Like, is that too much?
Thin, yes, thinner than that.
Okay.
That amount you put on there should be able to do almost that whole side. Now you don't want to see metal through it. You also don't want it to be lumpy. Dab, Chase, dab. There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
As you wipe it, you're wiping it off as well, so.
Is he grabbing gloves? Oh shit, I got a fucking hang. Okay, no one, he's not.
What?
Nothing?
What?
Nothing at all. Not a dang thing. Just come here, I come here and I sit there right there.
Can you move your noggin?
Where's the Loctite live now?
We've never found out.
Talking about? Never found out. Didn't know anybody was looking for it.
No, I mean like it changes. It moves around. It's like a nomad.
Aha.
L'chaim.
This is spot.
Thankfully, appreciate it.
How long does it take to cure?
You get a few minutes. Before it starts to, won't fully cure, but it'll start to skin over,
So it won't
and
bond.
then it won't bond real good. So you got a couple of minutes before that happens. You want to put a little bit on each one of these,
Okay. On the
just the round parts. Yep.
like that, like super
These you
thin?
could literally
gob on.
just,
So why do you do that?
just a little extra sealing, because this is typically where it leaks from, and you just leave it like that.
Oh,
And then when you put it on, it'll kind of
Okay.
work its way around. So,
All right, before we get to that, we're going to do a thumbnail real quick.
well, we don't have the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. That's
where it's on here now. So. You work that side because I can't see those galleys. You don't want them to touch anything but where they live.
okay.
Okay. Now that Loctite is over there. Put Loctite on 2 bolts and get 2 bolts started so this thing doesn't shift.
Okay. Where are the bolts for that?
Loctite.
Yeah. Gotcha. These bolts all the same? Blue Loctite, not red?
Blue.
Boy, it must be so much fun doing this by yourself. Like when you're at the shop. You
I always
hold
like,
that and-
I lay my bolts down and put Loctite on them first because that could start to dry.
Yeah, that's very true.
Now remember, there's still Loctite in those holes, so they're not going to go in real gentle. You want to put the Loctite closer to the bottom of the bolt, not the middle.
Bob Ross on this.
Gosh.
Hey, at least this thing ain't going nowhere. Loctite on the middle one as well.
Yep.
We're just snugging these down and then we're gonna torque them.
Correct. Snug this one a little bit. Good. All right, they're pretty much done.
Cool.
Loctite.
Yep.
Okay,
We ready for the next thing?
we are ready for the next thing. Let's go ahead and put these 2 bolts back in. This actually slides over the head of the bolt.
Oh, okay.
There it goes. And then those 2 and the 2.5. And that is a real small bolt, so don't strip it. Just put it in until it's seats and it's snug. You could strip the head of that thing really easily.
And you just want me to put the bottom one in just...
That doesn't go there.
I thought this one was... I thought these were all the same.
Now just to hold our bolts, these go with the washers.
Okay. Do we need to, do you want to put this back on top of the spark plug, or do you want to leave it like that? What was that?
Okay.
Sweet. We got time for a thumbnail thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Now that the sealant is covered and it's sealing itself,
Right. And then we'll do a slow-mo thing after that. I was going to say we'll do a thumbnail with that camera, but it's probably going to just be easier with this. Did that come undone?
What?
Did that come undone?
No.
Oh, okay.
What do you with that?
Gotcha. I'm just making sure it was working properly.
What? Can't understand you.
Shut up.
Can't understand you. What
Nothing.
you say?
Not a damn thing.
Can you understand him?
what?
What?
You guys are mean.
Or do you want to? Oh, you can take that picture.
Yeah.
Thumbnail picture. But we're busting open both sides too as well. The clutch and the flywheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those would be cool too. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have other thumbnail opportunities, but you did all that slow-mo stuff before that you could just clip one of those frames
I
out
want
of
to
it.
be in it. To be like, oh no, oil leakage
Oh.
or something. Alright, I'm going to grab slow-mos of this while I use the bathroom, and then we'll do a thumbnail once something's open. So that way
Okay.
it'll be like, oh shit. This is good. Yeah.
I'm gonna run outside, take 5.
Ooh, we can use the thing that we've been wanting to use this whole time.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break real quick, and we're gonna use our little break thing, and then we'll be back. We've never used this, so I hope it works. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. And break.
Ba-da-bum-bum, and we're back. Yay. All right, the intermission thing worked. Let me know in the comments, guys, is the intermission music like too loud? Just fine. Let me know because I can adjust stuff like that. All right.
Okay.
So, what's the top plate called we just finished?
Valve cover.
Valve cover. Okay. Valve cover, sealant. Everything is sealed up, good to go, no more weepage.
Correct.
Now, second hardest part is the generator cover. Is there? All right. Now this is a thing that will eat fingers, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you guys don't know, there's a big old magnet in here, and it sucks it shut. So you got to be very careful about taking it off. So.
And putting it back on.
Yeah. Likewise, both ways.
We're going to need that new cool specialty tool that we got.
Oh, that's what we got that for.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Where'd that doohickey go?
That, Brian, is a great question. Looking at camera guy, I don't know.
I haven't touched it.
Not in there. Not in there. Huh.
Definitely not in there.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't know where it was, right?
No.
Okay, it was on.
But I just think it's great that he doesn't say anything. He just points the camera at it.
Did you know the whole time, or did
No, when I walked over there, I saw it.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, Brian, I'm gonna hand this over to you because I don't know what the hell.
I'm going to make you figure it out once we get there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, are we? So we don't need this now. We just need this at some point.
Well,
in
you
time.
can't pull the cover off with all the hardware in it, can you?
Well, no, but I.
So we'll take all the hardware out.
I'm just, I'm just never mind. I'm not gonna say that. An 8, right? 9. Huh. Maybe we do need an 8.
Use the other ones.
These?
Yeah.
There's not an 8. Oh no.
You have it already.
Do we?
It's right there.
Did you already?
No, before.
Oh. Look at that. Me with my smart brain.
That's what we're using to take the bolts out of the battery box.
Wait, is this connected to this? I believe it is. Oh, dude. The bottom of this is, like, cracked up. What is on my neck? Oh, gloves. Right,
Squid.
right.
Is what connected to what?
Well, I already answered my question, but dude, this is like cracked up. I might have to get another one of those. You see that?
There.
It's just a paint chipping off of it.
Oh. It's not like cracked or anything?
No, I don't think so. We'll find out more once we get the cover off. If it shows cracks on the inside.
That's where the issue is?
Yeah.
Were you able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so nice working with you guys because not only do all my questions get answered, but tools just appear. Cameras get placed and looking at things. Whoa.
Setting you up for success.
And yet, still, I will fail somehow.
Those washers are very important.
Yep. Okay. Same size. Same size. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Dude, this panel is massive.
Okay, so while you're doing this, we are going to have to pull the starter off too. So let's get this nut and the wire off the starter so we can kind of move this stuff out of the way a little bit more.
Okay.
That's
Should I
what's
do that
trapping
right
us.
now before continuing this process? Okay, so those are all loose. You said take the starter off?
Take the wire off the starter.
Okay. Is this just a pull it out situation, or or am I like running all the way up to unplug it to something? Where's the flashlight? What the fuck? Oh, okay. Wow, that's all right. I'm not messing this up, right?
I was checking to see what you were doing.
I'm going to continue doing this now. 'Cause you're not saying anything. Okay, the wire came off. You still haven't said anything. So I'm going to now put this back here. And you still haven't said anything.
I like how nervous I make you just looking at that.
Okay, so that's there. And are we going ahead and removing this right now?
No.
Okay. So now I can remove all these then, and remove this plate.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you looking at me for? Mike's over there.
That was more of like the gym, look at the camera, like,
Oh.
made it through that whole situation. Threat level midnight going on right here. Those are the references I'll get, okay? Can we all make office references? That would be great. You just removing zip ties?
Ow. What was that? Oh, it's one of these.
Yeah, grab that because I'm going to be like, I think it goes there. All right. That's hopeful. Okay. Need a clean working environment so I can make sure to remove these. So those look like they're the same size. That one is not. Okay. May the camera note that I started these bolts with even with the black.
Man, he's learning finally, isn't he?
You guys hear that?
You're learning.
You get the audio? Okay, cool. Just making sure so I can make a sound bite out of that. There's nobody else behind the camera, just so you guys know. It was a joke.
Or maybe there is.
funky boy right there.
So before you take them last 2 bolts out, 3 bolts out,
Yeah.
let's get this out of here.
Oh, this comes out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that looks like a 45.
You were in the right drawer.
Oh, right. Dang. Dude,
What size is that?
18. I felt good about that too. Really thought I was gonna have a moment where it like went in.
You got that ratchet out there already?
I do.
Maybe not. That's a 1/2 inch. That's a big boy ratchet.
That's a really? Uh-uh.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Is this gonna be like? Tell me this is gonna be really hard, just so it's easy. Come on, say it. Say it. Say it. You better watch where your shoulder's gonna go, or you'll break something.
I don't have to say, you just did.
But I don't know if it counts. Oh, ha. It works for me too. Yes. There's a green thing behind it. All right, so the green. Okay, I'm going to place this carefully here, and then move this. Is that all? You just we want to do that while we had the force to.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm catching on. Okay. All right, so you unplugged this cable so that we wouldn't be connected to this. Right?
Correct, not to that. Just so we can move most of that stuff out of the way.
Okay, so I screw this in here, and this is to break the seal, is what this is for.
That's to remove that cover, period.
So I wouldn't be able to do this by hand?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Grab this edge. What? Wait, is it already out?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Just making sure that it hasn't been. We don't have a 14. Might be out.
Dude.
Okay, so I don't know where 14 is, whatever. This is.
You okay?
I think I smell burnt toast.
Hey! Do we call an ambulance?
No, we got the camera. We're good. Do I need to be careful, not break, like, just loosening? Okay.
That was a cool sound.
Was.
Now, if you could see, that cover is not coming off straight. Big gap there, not as big a gap every place else.
Right.
So you want to just put a little bit of pressure on it.
All right. Sounds like a Nickelodeon.
You get all the bolts out, buddy?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, because the oil is a separate piece. All the other bolts are confirmed out.
Stop cranking on that thing. Okay.
All right, so it's now off or
Now,
separated.
now it's separated.
So should I keep cranking on
Now
it
you can start cranking on it again, yes. There it goes.
Okay. How
Now,
far?
now stop cranking. Take
Okay.
that thing off of there and use that as a handle. and try and get it off straight.
Okay.
Now we can see the bottom of it real good. Does that look cracked, or does it just look like the paint's chipping?
I guess just the paint. I don't see any cracks. Or don't see any cracks on the inside either.
Okay. So technically that cover is good.
Okay.
Now what we can do, if you don't want to work with this here, stuck on here, follow this wire up and unplug it.
Okay. It's push in, right?
Yep. You probably need both hands.
Yeah. I don't want to like.
Just put it down very gently.
Yeah.
There you go.
What? You shaking?
I was making sure he had a clear shot,
Oh, gotcha.
making sure I wasn't in the way.
I see.
Thank you.
Trying to. I don't really pay too much attention with that, and I should.
Damn,
There's
son.
a little something right there to help you. No.
Really?
Here.
Yeah, that seems terrifying. Of course. Do we have cutters over here? Success. Let's play the Will It Fit game. It's gonna be hard to do this with one hand. Would you have done that before you took this piece off? Okay. All right, so now it's rinse and repeat the process we did on the front. Clean the outsides.
What else do we have to change besides the oil filter? What else did we get an O-ring for?
So the green one goes on the end. These are go on the oil filter. There's a tiny green and a red. Oh, this thing. What's it called? Stator?
What's it called?
Stator?
No.
No. Starter. Stator, starter. Hey, they're brothers.
Stator.
Okay.
It's
so
here. Stator is here. Stator is there. Stator cover.
Stator. Stator cover.
Stator cover.
Starter.
Starter.
Noted.
Do you know why? Do you want to know why it's called a stator?
Let me think about it.
It's really dumb.
Oh, then no, I'll never get it.
Well, it's that dumb that you probably won't guess.
Oh, what is it?
Because it's stationary. It
Really?
stays in one place while the rotor spins. Stator, rotor, charging system. Stator, rotor, charging system.
Stator rotor charging system. Stator rotor charging.
That's how they go together.
Okay.
Stator, rotor, and then regulator rectifier.
Right. I do know about that boy.
So those wires just came off of the stator.
Right.
The rotor and the stator make power to the regulator rectifier.
Changes it to usable power.
The rectifier changes it from AC to DC,
Right.
and the regulator regulates how much of that actually goes to the battery, and then any excess gets dumped to ground as waste.
Okay. So why do we need to know about this boy now? Because like,
Well, if you scrape all this off and put that on, then you can't see the gear for the starter to get it back in the hole and everything lined up.
oh, so we're gonna take this off.
I mean, you could do the starter without doing that, but now that that's off, it's a nice time to do that so you can see what's going on.
So that's the starter.
So this is the very end of the starter, right here,
Right.
and it meets that gear.
Nice.
So when you're putting everything back together, if you can be in here and turn this until it matches the tooth of this, it'll be easier
Now-
to do it that way.
Just based off conversations we had with the bobber, does this need to meet this at a certain point, or does as long as
Nope.
it locks in?
As long as it's,
Like
as long as the teeth
Right.
are meshed together.
Gotcha. All right. So now I can. Is the starter only those 2 bolts? Can you pop those off and pull it out? Okay.
It uses those 2 bolts to hold it steady while the rest of it slides into the case.
Gotcha.
And where it slides into the case is really what steadies the starter.
Okay. All right. So let's take the starter off.
Starter.
Starter, stator, rotor,
Right.
rectifier.
And of course it's not an 8 or a 9. I mean, or maybe it is an 8. Hell, who knows anymore?
There's only one way to find out.
There is only one way to find out.
I love the sounds, all these chairs rolling around. You know where that's from?
No.
Oh,
It's like European sirens.
Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh.
Some terribly horrible, cheesy. Yeah, you seen it? Okay. That was the chick that was crying as she ran away because everything is dubbed so horribly bad on
It's,
purpose.
yeah, it's a spoof of those types of movies.
Some serious Loctite going on these little boys.
Oh, you don't want that to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that falls out. You're in trouble.
If this fell out, it would mean that. Well, I mean,
It's
obviously
not.
oil
It's
would
not
come
falling out.
Yeah, but like if it did, oil would come out, but would you still? Your bike would run. It just couldn't start, right?
It would run until it pumped all the oil out and you lock the motor up.
Well, let's pretend that this fell out and somehow that hole sealed itself, and the engine was already running.
Then yes.
Then yes.
Okay, cool.
In the magic land, that the oil would not come out of the motor if you took that out of there in that big giant hole in the side of the case there.
Brian, we've had conversations. You know I live in a magical land like that.
Chase scenario land.
I don't want to know the faces you guys are making right now.
There's cool stuff in here.
And that's why we're using it for a thumbnail.
I'm just remembering all the pain that this motor has caused me over the years.
The pain of galley.
Pun intended. The pain of alley.
Guys, this one is not a Panagali, it's the Paningli. I'll be done one day, boys.
I set, dude, how long are you taking? I set the camera down.
When you know, do you think that thing's strong enough? I don't know. Oh my God, cramp in my forearm. Jeez.
Obviously, Chase isn't strong enough, so.
Fuck my life. My God, my forearm's literally cramping right here. Can't. Why? This thing moves together. Hell, there it goes.
Power tools.
So I can just pull this straight out now.
No, you
Will
gotta
it come straight out?
It's a great question, Brian. Oh! Sheesh. Alrighty. Well, there's that.
What is that?
Starter.
Yay!
Yay.
legit my forearm is. Wait, what? The red one goes on that? It replaces the black one on there?
It should.
You know what, Tool? We need to get that black one off.
Oh yeah, you're gonna go there, huh?
Uh-huh. Was it last episode we talked about our machinist guy? One of the last episodes, I think it might have been 4. We go to our machinist guy, and he legit made us like these little, what do you even call these things?
Spoons.
Tiny versions, like tiny little spoon things. Just settings, hold on. Okay, sorry. Last turn thing got weird. Yeah, so he made us these little spoons, and this is a perfect scenario to get to use one. Right? Like,
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I just thought it was really cool that he did that. So
So just lay that one down, and then pull the black one out, and lay them side by side, and see if they're the same size.
caught it like a mother freaking professional. That looks like the same size as me?
Yep.
So I'm just placing the red one.
You throw the black one away, so we don't make just throw it right in the pan. Oh, never mind. No, let's clean that up before we put any new parts on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like we're going to clean everything else up before we put
Right.
any new parts on
I'm
there.
gonna take it over here to the cleaning station.
That would be so cool if we had a cleaning station.
Right. Be cool if we had a lot of things. Let's
Here.
put this really expensive thing over there.
How about the office, or do you need it for the slow-mos?
Yeah, we need it for the slow-mo.
Here, I'm going to just move this a little bit further away.
Thank God he didn't throw that like I did the little rubber thing. That'd be terrible.
It'd be hilarious.
All right. Are we doing brake cleaner on this, or do we need to be more careful?
Just clean it.
Okay. I don't know how, I don't know.
So when it comes to what chemicals to use for where, brake cleaner is what they refer to as a high flash solvent, which means that it dries in the air very fast.
Oh.
So it really doesn't leave anything behind. So as long as you don't leave any of the actual liquid part of the contact cleaner, you can pretty much use it anywhere. I mean, you don't want to spray an open engine with it because it'll get down into places and then it won't have a chance to evaporate.
Right.
And then it'll break down your oil.
Gotcha.
But something like this where you're working on the bench top,
Sounds like brake cleaner. Don't you say a fucking word, because I am not going to get old and have cancer because I breathed in brake cleaner. And it cleaned my lungs out, except for all the carcinogens.
Okay, safety.
Chase is so bad at just having tools laying around, hardware laying around, good parts, bad parts laying together.
It's a fun mystery game to play.
There we go.
What did you say?
You give them this magnetic tray,
Yeah.
and there's just nothing in it and hardware everywhere.
Are you kidding me?
Not one bolt in that thing. They're all over here. And it's all over the place here, but not one bolt in here. So we'll just.
You can't say shit about those because I put those there.
Where does that one go?
I mean, I assume that's the end one.
So exactly, assuming.
I put it there in a perfect manner.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another magnetic tray down there.
Dude, we got them hidden all over the place.
Magnets, yeah.
Dude, I never got my 44-pound magnets.
That's upsetting.
Oh yeah, what happened to that?
They didn't, they sent them the first time and they got lost in the mail. I think I told you that they kind of disappeared. And we were thinking that the boxes probably got magnetized to the inside of the delivery truck.
100%. Yeah.
But I think we canceled the order and just never reordered them.
That's sad. I want to see them.
There you get in. Here.
Luke would have been able to take his rifle and just be like, "Whoop-ah," and just throw it at the wall and it would have been like,
That sounds really fun.
looking for that little metal thing he threw in there?
I got fucking asshole. No, it's not ring. Yeah, we digging through the trash, Chase. Appreciate it.
Is that not your job description?
Dude, it'd be too funny if that thing came out with it when you pulled it out.
Here, I need this.
Why?
Because it does this. Oh, right there.
As long as there's no ABC food in here, we're good. It's aluminum. Although there may be some muffin stuck on that thing.
There it is.
Now would be a good thumbnail time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I put this on.
Sure. You're only lying to yourself.
I looked around just so it would be obvious.
Where'd that razor blade go? Did it make it back up to the magnet?
Sometimes I feel like we need a desk cam.
Okay.
Well, that way the guys could watch what happens over here.
I didn't really hear what he said, but I think I figured out what he said.
I understand your reasoning for it. You just gotta set one up. It'd be really cool, like an overhead shot.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Neistat action.
You got any more cameras?
Nope, fresh out.
Let's put the 1D.
Right. Sub out having slow-mo shots for an overhead rig.
How do I turn the this off?
Double tap on the side.
Yes.
need a new battery.
Either that or I'm just fucking off.
It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
It's moments like these when I miss my toolbox.
What do you have in your toolbox that would make your life different right now?
I have a razor blade on a steak.
On a what?
On a steak.
Oh.
Oof.
That'll make your butt pucker.
Instead of just, holding a razor blade, I have a handle,
Yeah, but that's not dangerous, Brian.
Trust me, it's plenty dangerous.
I do trust you, so I'll take your word on it.
You didn't make coffee for us?
Huh?
You didn't make coffee for us?
Do you need coffee?
That'd be nice.
Let me know, bro. I'll make you a coffee. Make you some of my fancy coffee. Okay. We'll blow this out one more time.
How do you mute this?
What?
So I don't blow out everybody's eardrums?
Oh, you can
Quick
just
mute?
like bring that all the way down. Yay! Yeah. It's moments like this that I try to be thankful that we film as much as we do, because I don't think a lot of people understand you have to do this shit. And they're like, oh, working on motorcycles is so cool. it's just exciting the whole time. No,
Until you have to spend an hour and a half scraping one gasket surface.
right.
And then you quit on it and you're like, it's good enough.
And then you gotta do the whole thing over again?
And then you get one of these things that breaks off inside your engine case and floats in the oil and plugs up an oil passage, and one of your camshafts gets destroyed because of that.
Yeah, that's a negative.
That's a big oof.
That's a big.
So, for all you people out there in Ducati land that have a Panigale,
One
a
second.
Panigale,
No, not ready. I'll put it on slow-mo mode. Sorry.
just, what was it? Tech tips?
Yeah, tech tips.
Tech tips.
Brian.
Don't run your finger around inside of here,
Wait, why?
because there are occasionally some sharp edges,
Oh, shit.
and instead of finishing your job, you'll wind up going to the hospital for stitches.
That's not fun.
So you don't want to rub your finger around the inside of this, your bare finger. You can, nice rag.
Not a shitty rag, but like a nice rag.
You can use a shitty rag too, as long as your fingers don't go through the rag.
No guarantees of them shitty rags, though.
Your voice sounds so weird in that thing, dude. It like reverberates inside the filter.
Wonder how fast I can make somebody click off this video.
You're gonna be wearing that for the thumbnail. Then
100%. Oh yeah, they're gonna be like, I ain't watching that shit. Not with Chase with his fucking respirator.
You done over there?
Yeah. I think. I consider that done. You want me to spray some brake cleaner and Scotch-Brite the sides?
Just Scotch-Brite them,
Oh, okay.
because we don't want to spray contact cleaner inside the motor. This is an open motor.
Well, no, like on the Scotch-Brite pad is what I meant.
I don't think that's actually really going to help you at all.
Noted.
There's that brand new O-ring now covered in schmutz.
It's a funny word, schmuck.
Schmutz.
Man, that valve cover looking
Clean.
primo.
Okay, starter's clean.
Yeah,
Cover's clean.
yeah.
Inside, outside.
I was so focused on my job at hand. I picked a terrible place for my drinks.
I noticed. So are we powder coating anything?
I don't know. Can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Like something that's chipping paint off of it?
I don't know if that would be good to powder coat, right?
I don't know. Can we powder coat that, Brad?
I think, if anything, I know we're kind of resealing this now, but if they make a cool matching cover
What do you mean matching cover?
to the one that we're going to put on the other side,
Oh. Yeah. If we're gonna.
That's why I'm bringing it up now, because we have it all.
Yeah.
So really no worry if we leave it all for a bit.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be honest, I really don't like the idea of putting this back on and cracking.
Well, it's probably not a great idea to leave this engine case open like this,
Well, I mean, like, we could put it back on.
but not reseal it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like, worst case scenario, I mean, like, we could order an OEM and replace it. I mean, I know nobody will ever see that, but it would just,
Yeah, they will, because we showed it on film.
yeah.
So,
And that just kind of looks like shit.
So that's a cover that goes over that. That's not.
see if Duca Bike makes one.
What was that?
17?
16?
16. Oh, are you saying that might be weeping as well?
Yeah, we already got the O-ring for it. It's right there.
Oh, that's. I see. I didn't know that was what the super tiny O-ring was for. I'll wait till we're filming it again because
You tired of cleaning this thing?
No, I'm not tired of cleaning it, but I want to talk to camera to be like, we didn't know that thing had shipping paint, so like.
I'm trying to figure out a solution.
Yeah, I mean like. I don't think there's a solution where we keep that one because like I would rather get an OEM one, especially if we're gonna make that OEM order later today. Like we could just throw one of those on there.
Unless we can find a Duca Bike one.
No, I'm saying if he can't find a Duca Bike one or any of them, it would just not. I figured as much, but if we could get it in time though for the other side, then we could, lump it in. Or I mean, it's not like we're filling the bike with oil after though.
Nope.
So. It could just be another thing.
Nothing Duca Bike.
Nothing to work.
Okay.
You have a pen?
You can make a notes in the file. Generator cover?
Or stator, depending on what they refer to it as. It could just be an engine cover.
Right.
There it is. So now that that starter is clean, you could put that O-ring on there.
Right. Okay. That'll be whenever we get back going, what live stream camera are we on? So guys, now that we took off the stator/generator cover, that chipping on the bottom, here I could actually show you guys on the video.
Through the power of cameras.
Through the power of cameras. You guys can see in there, actually the focus is probably on the bike, but like there's like a significant amount of chipping down here.
No, it shows it really well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's like a lot of chipping down there and like, kind of goes back to the thing like we're trying to build bikes that are like dream bikes and like
Dream bikes don't have chipping paint on them?
don't have chipping in the bottom of a cover. This is one of those things that nobody would see, but I think we would feel bad if we like
this is not the quality level that we want in a finalized product. So we're looking up options. If we can get an aftermarket one, or if we need to just get an OEM one. I would rather have an OEM one. You know, we'll go through the process of having to take everything off of it and into a new one, but it's kind of what we're looking up right now.
Poof!
What?
He looked at the price.
Is that gray little tiny number?
Yeah.
Oh,
How much?
724.
Ooh, man, that's steep. So that's rough.
all right.
We're also going to
I
need
got a bad taste on that one.
Right. I'm not smelling that burnt toast
we're
anymore.
also going to need these 3 bolts because a lot of times they don't come out nicely.
Yeah. Well, here, let me show this whole situation. Because like showing people what you're doing right now is one of the questions we got on the Q&A thing. So like a lot of people don't know about what we're doing. All right, guys. Chase is floating the camera, and Brian, could you show to the camera better that scraping or
Sure.
the what is it like?
Chipping.
Chipping. So once we got the generator cover off and got a good look at it, there's no structural damage on that, but like if we're making a final bike, we don't want that on the bike at all. So we've decided that we're going to look into another option.
Well, now that we have that option, is now a better option to have it powder coated?
I mean, I don't think powder coating is a good option because it's going to look off from the engine color. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah, we do it to
don't have
match.
it done this color.
We do it to match.
Have it done to match whatever our paint scheme is.
You'd feel confident in a powder coater being able to match that color
I mean, we could
perfectly?
just do it in black. You know what I mean?
You don't think black would stand out on the engine?
Well, so
You're not going to see this.
another option
The bodywork's on.
Another option is, so we get that repainted because it'll just look better. And also, like, that's just surface
Yeah.
paint that's chipping off. So we get it repainted, and then we put like a GB racing cover over it.
We could do that too.
You
Just
know,
a
so
engine cover protector.
even if the colors don't match, we have that option remaining.
Right, so one thing I did
and that
want
would
to
still
show-
be probably less than half of what it would be to replace it because it's got some powder coat chipping off of it.
Exactly.
So we did look up the price, and I wanted to show, Luke, show people what you, like, to get the part number or whatever, and, like, show people that process of what you do, since you're the parts guy.
Yeah, so like I said earlier in the video, Ducati Omaha is going to be who we go for this. You just go to like OEM parts, and it'll take you to this. Really cool thing about these guys, they'll give you parts fish, so you can actually have a part number, and you can take that to your dealer, or you can order it directly from these guys, and it'll give you a good price on it.
Right. And when you looked up this part, what was the price?
I'll go through the process to get into it. So it's just exploded diagrams of every part, and you just need to find the correct one.
Right.
That's going to show you what you're looking for. Forgot what page it was on.
That was it.
So we need this cover. It's number 10. And there's your part number.
Right, so now you can either buy it from them or use that part number to, like, plug it in online or something?
Yeah. So that's your price for one generator cover, and then we need the bolts.
So our options right now are spend 724 plus bolts,
Yeah.
or we take our current cover that has no structural damage on it, get it powder coated,
And still replace those bolts.
Yes.
and still replace those bolts and get the cover that Luke found.
Yeah.
The,
So
uh,
RNG or like GB Racing.
Oh, this.
So this is RNG's.
Stator cover.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which,
So
these are amazing. Like when I laid my monster down, that saved my my cover.
Oh, okay. So we'd have a better end product by getting that powder coated and then cover it with that.
It's the same thing as like frame sliders, it's just extra
Right.
bike protection.
Okay. There we go then.
Yeah.
So that's the,
So 106 for that.
yeah, and then plus the
And then-
miscellaneous like 50 or 100 on the powder
Powder
coating and
coat.
cover.
And then the bolts are probably a couple bucks a piece, maybe.
Right. We have to
99
make an
cents.
OEM order tonight for this stuff anyway. So we can just include those in the OEM stuff we already needed.
Okay.
Okay, so now you guys are updated with why we're not going to be putting that guy back on, at least for now.
Permanently. We're going to put it back on for now, but not permanently.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Okay. Is
Huh? What? No, I'm awake. I'm awake. We're still working, right? I'm awake.
What are you want to do?
I know for a fact that's not focused.
So let's clean the surfaces, finish cleaning the surfaces.
Right.
And then we could just drop this back on, loosely
You're not recording,
fit the
though.
cover back on.
You told. That's what you get for touching my camera, dude. I thought.
My bad. Shouldn't have touched it. Okay, so.
Yeah, so we'll finish cleaning those surfaces off,
Right.
and then we can just loosely put the cover back on so the engine isn't open.
So you don't want the engine opens for like what, dust or?
Yeah, you don't want anything at all possibly falling in there and getting someplace where it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be.
Right. Okay.
You know.
That was me feeding
What
Brian.
if you're eating cereal down here,
That's
and
a
you
good
trip
point,
and
dude.
fall, and you got
I'm
cereal
eating
on your
cereal,
bike?
Like, it's just
What-
like
what if you-
throwing it at my face.
What if after you did your, boxes left on people's porch, theft ring, and you come back to your garage and you open up and it's a glitter bomb and now your engine's filled with glitter? What are you supposed to do?
Don't put glitter bomb in this video. I get a box in my PO box and it's a glitter bomb.
Just make sure you open everything outside.
Noted. Okay.
If you open it up and it's just a bunch of flies.
Oh.
Been done, obviously. Okay, so we're gonna get back to scrape duty, and then we'll.
You're no fun, bro. I don't even know you anymore. You gotta record one video later tonight, and you're all fucking work and no play.
I'm not all work and no play. I still
All work and no play is better than all play and no work.
Yeah, that's true. I think that 724 settled you down a little bit.
The what?
724.
Oh, well, I mean, at least we're not going down that route.
So painful.
That's bad.
it would
For-
be.
and there's really nothing that crazy about this cover. I mean, it is fairly simple.
That isn't a
I've seen
price.
I've seen engine covers that are way more
Wait,
complicated
what's on
than
the other
this.
side of it, though? Oh, that's why.
Oh, it's the marinara joke.
It says Ducati.
Hey, so if you're watching this video and you have to replace your generator cover, sucks to be you. R.I.P. your wallet. 7 hundo.
Now I'm gonna let you know now, so you don't scrape on that forever. You're not gonna get it all off.
So just be okay with not being.
But get it, close until you're scraping at it. You see that it's not coming off no more, and then move along.
Okay. So I assume that's because of the ridges. Like, it's going to get seated into there. And like,
That's
not-
one thing that Ducati does that I really, really like is it's referred to as crosshatch. They crosshatch the edges of the mating surfaces, so they have more bite to the sealant,
Mhm.
so you get a nice, really good seal.
That term is used in drawing.
Well, crosshatching, that's where it comes from.
Oh, well. Yeah, thanks, Picasso. Just kidding. I don't think it was Picasso. Ask Heather. She's better at art history than I am.
The wonderful parts of working on motorcycles when you got to use the tip of your finger and scrub surfaces smashed in between all these little tight places.
Yep. I hope you guys appreciate this on camera. This is what you don't see on motorcycle builds.
This is why people don't understand why it's so expensive to have their bike worked on.
To be fair, somebody commented on one of the recent episodes and they said like, oh, okay, I see why it costs so much to fix my Ducati. Like, we're just over here shedding light, you know, we're putting flashlights in the dark. That's what we're here for. That and ideally to have not terrible motorcycles that we give away. God, to heck with those things, man. Those are not fun. Do we have, I just want to get this.
Those actually are really hard to get out. Let's just leave it there and work around it.
If we're not pushing for perfection, then we'll be all right. Okay. Alrighty. Good enough?
What do you think?
I mean, if we're not pushing for perfection, then, I mean, might be a bit far off more.
Let me see that real quick.
What's that warning say?
The stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. Recommend that you use the stream bit rate of 45 kilobits per second.
Huh.
4,500. You're at 26. Excellent condition.
Interesting.
Just had to acknowledge that it was there. It fixed
Just a
itself.
verbal acknowledgement of like, you're there? Okay, I'm done. I'm good now.
Yeah,
Alright, fair enough.
just noped out.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the respirator on so we can do a thumbnail after this.
Cool.
I appreciate your excitement.
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Yay.
Is this my water or your water?
That's yours. Were there any of those dowel pins in that cover?
Seeing as though it's sitting flat, I doubt it.
We are missing a dowel pin.
Right here?
Yep.
Interesting. Could that have caused leakage?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, let's record that then.
Where's it
If
again?
right here.
So it should have been right. Should have met up with that.
Well, usually, flip that cover over and see if there's a hole in the cover.
That's what I'm saying. It's right there.
Okay, then it doesn't go there. Never mind. Okay. Sometimes they do that. They'll put,
Yeah.
spots like that into the casing and then not
They
have
do
a
it
pin
to
in it.
save weight.
Okay, so one important thing. after you scrape this, you always want to go back and clean where all the scrapings may have fallen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just want to wipe this stuff down.
So after this we can put the old one on for now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll do a talk to camera thing to be like, alright guys, so we got this all cleaned up and ready to go. But so you guys can get a really good look at it, let's do some slow-mo shots. That way we'll have the camera out, can do the slow-mo shots, do the thumbnail, and then we can move on after that.
Feels good.
So I'm just gonna.
Should we be recording?
Probably, yeah. I don't know what's happening, but
What are you doing there?
There we go.
Cool. I just missed it.
I'm gonna show you.
story of your life. Everything.
This is what we refer to as a thrust washer. This goes in between this gear. Goes in between this gear and this part of the engine cover.
Okay.
So that thrust washer keeps that gear from chewing this up. Because, you know, this is aluminum, that's steel, and steel wins over aluminum. So they put this in here as just a surface to spread out the load. So it's not just kind of grinding away at one spot. It kind of helps level it out so it doesn't chew that up. So if you're taking your stator cover off, 90% of the time there's a thrust washer in between a gear like that and the engine case. Now it's not always there.
Right.
You know, it depends on how it was designed and how it was assembled, but it's always something to look for.
Right.
When you're taking covers off like that, if it is an end of a gear that fits into a shaft in the cover, typically there's a thrust washer in between the two.
Okay.
So if you take this cover off and you hear a bing, the bing, and you're not sure what made the noise, start looking for little washers like that.
Right.
Bless you.
It's an earthquake in the camera. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm allergic to thrust washers.
Should have taken your thrust washer allergy medicine this morning. Let us know in the comments if you're allergic to thrust washers.
You're blinding me with that thing.
That's what I think.
My bad. Totally unintentional, my guy.
Felt like a real Luke move doing that. So
Feels good, doesn't it?
it does. I see where you go.
Okay, so I would call those surfaces clean enough.
Okay.
While we're in here and everything is nicely exposed, maybe we should do the oil filter.
Okay.
That should be an interesting piece for the people watching.
We're doing thumbnail and stuff right now?
Yeah, we can do that. You got just bust out the camera. Where were those for? Starter.
Starter.
Yay.
Would you like a magnetic tray for that?
No.
I'll just throw it in the trash.
Alright,
Are you
so
talking to camera or what?
yeah, we're gonna do a small talk to camera.
You may want to take that thing off the top
Can't
of the camera.
understand you.
Okay.
It's like a big metal ice cream. All right, so now, all right, so we got this area cleaned. But before we go to the oil filter, we figure we'll do some slow-mo shots because this stuff looks really cool. And after that, we're going to move to the oil filter before we put the ice cream cone back on.
We'll do the oil filter.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will do the starter.
Oh, right, because we got to reinstall the starter. Right.
And then we can just drop that cover on and loosely install the hardware because we're going to do some special things with that.
Cool. But for now, we can see close-ups of metal.
It's like an ice cream. All right.
Oh, I wasn't recording.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
God, I hate you. Okay. Film
For
that
you.
I got you.
I might hold that thing for the thumbnail and be like, oh, fuck.
Oh no. Should get like a little Sharpie and like draw a crack in it.
Oh, no. That'd be fucked up.
It'd be
Or we just hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
No, this is $725. All right, somebody go grab that camera and take a photo.
Please.
Please. Yes, correct.
Now. Now is what you finish that statement off with.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Just make a demand. You will listen to me. I am thrusting my authority upon you. I have no.
Did you hide it?
It's right here on the top of this black trunk.
Why'd you let me walk into there?
The answer was,
You were blowing your nose. I thought you were headed to the bathroom.
Oh no.
so the answer was yes. He hid it in plain sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, sucks to be that guy, huh?
No, it's awesome.
You know how to work that thing? Then lens cap.
Nah, it's a myth.
The man, the myth, the legend. Alright, so you're going to be here. And I'm going to make a surprise face way too high.
How are you going to make a surprise face with that goofy thing on?
Yeah, that's
Surprise eyes.
surprise eyes.
What?
You can just click.
I was trying to do the half thing because there's like,
Oh, the focus thing?
yeah, it's weird.
Let me see him. Let me see.
It
Let me
was
see
like-
your framing.
They look like garbage. How do you delete pictures? I'm serious. The lights in the background mess it up.
What's it focusing on?
I don't know.
Nothing. It
Hit,
doesn't look like.
half shutter it, and let me see what the focus is. It's not manual focus. So
Okay.
click it to autofocus.
How's that my fault?
You should have seen that it's not focusing.
Now you understand what Brian and I are laughing at you all the time about.
Oh, okay.
Ah, the tables have turned.
Yeah, the tables have become turntables. Alright, so you should now.
What?
It will focus now.
The
So
tables
you're
have become turntables.
good. Yeah, because they've turned.
Fucking weird.
You spin me right
Round,
round, baby,
baby,
right
right
round,
round,
like
like
a
a
record,
road.
baby, like a record, baby.
Right.
Right round, round, round.
Oops.
Hand modeling all this stuff.
Yes, yes. Oh, you don't.
Yeah, I want this. Okay. One of those has to not suck. Well, it's in focus, if anything. Nailed it. All right, so let's do one, like, close. So, like, end of frame, like that's the corner of the frame.
Mine your way. Tough shit.
Oops.
Good. Stop it. Don't let him do it, camera.
He didn't do it.
Jesus Christ. All right. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, those are fun. I'll use one of those. I can probably crop in with the other ones if I need to.
You just don't. You're like, it's not. Do you want me to focus on you now?
Oh, I think it's the idea in my head is going to need to be one of the other ones.
But this is
cropped in.
really sharp.
Yeah, but I can only go, I mean, try it again and I'll try to be back closer because there's a focal plane that I'm trying to meet.
I do understand that.
Okay, so focus on this guy so it's a good middle ground between here and my face.
Cool. That looks better.
Yeah, solid. Yeah, that's a ton of good shit. One of those we can use for sure. Good job, boys. I gotta do slow-mo stuff. And take some pictures.
So really all we have left to do is the oil filter.
Uh-huh.
Oh God. I don't
Yeah,
realize
it's
how
4.
I don't realize how crooked my nose is, so I wear that. What?
It's 4 o'clock.
Almost.
We're doing good. We'll be aight. Alrighty. Did you put it on manual focus just to fuck with me? Yeah.
I would have caught you, Chase.
I appreciate that, Brian.
I would have filmed it.
You would have filmed it.
I wouldn't have caught you. I would have filmed
I would hope so. Otherwise, things wouldn't exist if you didn't film them. Footage or it didn't happen.
Flashlight.
Yeah, you want the flashlight because then there's like a line in the frame. You can use it as a transition.
Crazy how low that oil is.
Like
That bottom of the drain pan
Yeah.
or the oil pump.
Yeah.
Crazier part is the pickup almost goes to the bottom of that.
Really.
torn apart bikes look so fucking cool. Like, I don't know how many people agree with me with that, but
No, I agree.
Chase, one of these days I might have to borrow your welder.
do too, man.
I got some random fucking steel bullshit in my garage that I've always wanted to make into like just art pieces.
As long as you promise that we don't have to use it on a bill at least 1.5 seasons, I'm okay.
I'm not making any promises about that.
I'm trying to think of what would look cool to the Patreon people. Actually, we can take a photo of the shipping, and I can post it on there so those guys can see it better. Cool. Okay. I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Alrighty. Let's get that camera a-rolling and finish this episode up.
Turn into Crocodile Dundee's.
I don't know what that is. You guys know when I go Australian, it's like one of those little bottle rockets
Was
you
that
shoot.
was that supposed
It
to be
just goes,
Australian?
It
I
starts,
thought I said Crocodile Dundee.
yeah, it
sounded
starts,
Australian.
and then it like, you don't know where it ends. You know, you don't know if it's going to shoot
It
straight.
morphs into a hammered Lemmy. Do you know who Lemmy is?
I know who Lemmy is, but I don't think we're thinking of the same person. Because I really doubt you watch Rosilla videos.
What, Lenny?
Motorhead.
Yeah.
Let me
That was
motor.
a band.
A band?
Damn it, I leaked the intelligence.
You're one of the leakers.
You know the Ace of Spades?
I've heard of the Ace of Spades.
Have you ever heard the song The Ace of Spades?
No, but I know
Okay.
it's a playing card.
Hey, you're halfway there.
Nailed it. All right.
Let me get a strap on.
Oh, the
As
things
long as
only
you're not filming, putting the strap on, we're good.
Jesus Christ. This is becoming something far different than it began.
All right,
Battery low, thanks.
move along, move along.
Okay, so that's what the generator looks like. Slow-mo. Now, since we're not putting that back on, and it's gone into hibernation for now, we do have access to the oil filter, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we have one of those. So we're going to put that, or should we put that on first, or should we put the starter back in?
Either way, doesn't matter.
Cool, let's take shit off. Looking for a tiny one. Not seeing the, oh.
How would you remove that?
Well,
Now the bolts are out of it, how would you remove it?
I would probably put a flat head on the side of it and try to pry
And
it
you
off.
would ruin it.
Use the bolts.
That's exactly the perfect way to ruin the cap and the maiden surface to the engine case.
Why? How many, like I would scratch it or something?
That thing is like this deep.
Oh, it ain't like right here?
It's not just a cap. There's
Oh.
2 O-rings that go on it,
Maybe
right? These 2 right here.
Right.
use the bolts.
So those 2 O-rings fit around the inside of this, which is like that deep.
Okay. Based on the...
Now look at it a little better.
Yeah.
Take a good look at it. How would you take that cover off?
Well, I mean, without breaking it, I'm going to use the knowledge of the camera who has said use the bolts, which I assume means put the bolts in and pull the bolts. All right, so I'm going to...
The bolts are in the drain pan, right?
No, that was it.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Isn't that how you do it?
You don't use the bolts that hold the cover on.
What?
Okay. This face is fun for me, but I'm gonna continue. So these bolts go through this and bolt into the engine case. But if you notice,
They're threaded.
they're threaded,
Right.
but that has to be bigger than this bolt, so this bolt could just slide through. So you
Right.
have to use a slightly larger bolt, bigger than that.
Oh, we've gotten into an interesting game now. Do they make like a tool to do that, or
They're just bolts. You just need to find the right size bolt.
how does that make sense? Like, stop. I hope you have casual, perfectly sized bolts with the right filter thread. What? You are lying if you're telling me there's not a tool that goes perfectly into both of those.
There is not a tool.
So home dude at his house, who's changing his filter on his Paningly. Homeboy better have
I think it's an M8 actually.
All right, if you own a Panigale, grab some M8 bolts. 'Cause
Mate.
mate, M8 mate. That is stupid.
pissed off for people that own like this bike.
That's what I said at the very beginning. It's like most people just take it to the dealership for everything. So
Dude, I'm gonna be so upset if this works.
well, prepare to be upset.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. You just therapist prepping me up. It's like, hey, don't respond to things.
Now,
that
what
you're
most
just
people want to do, because this is threaded, is they'll take a bolt that fits and they'll thread it in here,
right.
and they'll want to remove this cover the same way we remove this one by driving the bolt in and pushing the cover off.
Oh no.
Okay.
Now, that will also do damage to where this bolt goes in, because the face of this is going to push up against where that
threads for
threads,
that,
and
right.
you'll booger the first thread in there, and then you won't be able to get the bolts back in to hold the cover on.
Jesus, bro.
So what you need to do is you thread this on just with your fingers, and you'll feel it comes to a point where it'll stop, and that's where you stop.
Okay, so
Don't drive these in. It's just finger tight until they stop, and then you're just gonna
Yoink.
pull that off. And that's it.
that's oh stupid.
All right, ready? Here's the next part of this.
Wait, the dummy.
How do you get the filter out?
Lord. You get an M15 bolt and you just hammer it in and yank it out.
That
Thought you said
probably
yank for
wouldn't
a
work.
second. Oh shit. Yeah. What?
So here's the filter. You could look at it better. Now, that's not the side that's showing. That's the side that's showing. So you can't like put pliers in there and grab it, right? There's nothing to grab here.
No.
So pull the filter out.
Kind of like. Oh, you gonna grab like a pick or something?
Your basic super cheap 90-degree pick. This piece is spring-loaded.
So it is.
So you just push it in and hook the edge.
Don't you love how other motorcycles, you can just screw that on. And this, I ain't even get into it. Don't get me started.
Now we have the filter out. You always want to take a look at the filter to see if there's any metal in it.
Metal? Like clutch material metal?
Anything. This is a good way to tell you what kind of shape the inside of your engine is in. So if you find any shavings or chips, the last thing you want to see is curls or chunks.
Would
that-
it be obvious to see on the
Yeah.
filter? Okay.
It'd be pretty obvious.
Right.
Yeah, this looks pretty clean. There's always going to be some metal in it.
Okay, but you're looking for
Looking for
substantial.
anything substantial, correct.
Okay.
So,
I mean, if there was going to be something terribly huge in there, I would much rather know on episode 6,
then
24.
Then after-
No, 22.
then after we rode the thing, and then all of a sudden it starts making noise.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is probably going to drip for a while. So instead of doing that, we just let that sit for a second,
Soak up
absorb all the
right.
oil that's in there, and then pull it out.
Wait, so where did these O-rings go then? Oh, didn't notice those. Got it. Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to take this, and have at it, son. And then when you take your rag out, you want to check to see that there's no metal in this either.
So this is your time to like check
Like
shit.
fully inspect everything. Yeah, there's still some oil in here, so I'm just going to stuff this back in.
But you're not seeing any metal on the filter, on the rag, or anything?
Nope, everything looks pretty good.
Okay.
It's especially bad when you pull that filter out and you find a piece of the connecting rod stuck in it.
Have you done that before?
Yes, sir, I have.
Oh, goodness. I bet that owner was super pumped.
Let me tell you how super unpumped I was when I found it, because that's a complete engine rebuild, engine cases up.
But like at that point, as a mechanic, like or as a technician, like you're getting paid for that time, right? Or is it just a job that's not fun? Is that what you mean?
So to rebuild this motor, obviously, it has to be no bike connected to it
Right, because the whole bike is
So-
structurally held together by the.
by the engine. So to get this engine and everything else off of it, you have a pile of motorcycle like this high on the floor.
Oh yeah, so it's a pain in the butt to like constantly have.
And
to
it's
deal with.
just, it's one of those things where, where's your spoons?
Yeah, I was gonna say like this O-ring is like there's like space in between there.
There's
Is that
gonna be.
fine?
Yep,
Okay.
there's gonna be.
I didn't know if it had like been degraded or something like that.
It's a mighty fine spoon.
Dude. Oh, that's what you were doing. The little clingy clang was you taking the spoon out. Dude, what a clutch time for these boys. Thanks, Judd, if you're watching this video. If this makes it into the cut. So with the O-rings in between here, we're just gonna like, the O-rings just go in here, right? There's no like sealant we need to put in there with them, or
Correct.
they just kind of, they're
They just-
pressurized by.
They just go in there.
Right.
O-ring on an O-ring.
O-ring and an O-ring.
What we are going to do though is we are going to smear a little bit of grease on them to help them slide into place.
Okay.
If you put them in there dry, they could catch on the edge going in, and you could nick the O-ring, and then you might get some
Nice.
leakage.
Right.
Yep.
Nobody likes leakage. Thanks, camera. Grease on this area or on the actual O-rings?
Put
the
the
whole
O-rings
thing.
on, and then put the grease on the O-rings. O-rings on first.
Just put the whole thing in there.
Just.
Oh yeah, just like that.
I'm good to like just insert, right?
There's still a little oil in here.
Are you being so anal about the oil in there because it's old oil, and if we're putting a brand new oil filter, we want to make sure that as much bad oil or old oil doesn't get on it? Is that
Correct.
the whole mentality? Okay.
Yeah, we can cover this. This thing. And these are trash. So that cover only goes on one way.
Okay.
These pieces are not directly across from each other.
Right.
All right, that looks good now.
She's clean, cow.
So when you're putting this filter on, there's a little tiny nipple down at the other end of there that the end of this fits over.
I can see it.
So you just want to make sure when you're putting this on that you feel it slide over.
Right. So right at the end, you'll fill the.
Yep, you'll feel it slide over the end of that, and then you can put the cap on. All right, keep it nice and flat as you can, and just push it on until the O-rings kind of seat in place. Try and 2 thumbs, 1 over each hole, so it goes in perfectly straight. There you go. There it is. That second click is what you were looking to.
Right.
And that's your hardware.
Gracias. Yeah.
Now don't just go down until they touch. Don't drive them on with that because you'll over torque the hell out of them.
Over torque? Really?
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of.
Nope. It's very lightly torqued.
That seems to be a consistent theme on this motorcycle.
Okie dokie.
Cool. That's
Now we can put the starter
There you
back
go.
in.
huh?
Battery died.
On the camera or the?
The
Oh, okay. So now we'll do the. Whenever he gets that put in, we'll do the starter, and then put this back on and call it a day.
Yep.
Cool. Feels weird seeing you with a ring on. Not used to it
Me neither.
yet. Really? Still getting used to it?
Yep.
Do you do this a lot?
Yes.
I found myself doing that when I first got it. I would like just, these fingers would just kind of like turn it constantly. Crush washer was for the drain plug,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are we putting that on for good right now, or are we?
We don't have to.
Okay, we'll definitely label that in something.
Did when you did the oil in the Monster, what did you use to seal the drain plug?
What do you mean by that? What did I use to seal?
He knows.
You don't have it, do you?
It's not here, is that what you said?
I think you use this.
Perfect.
He doesn't have the little chapstick tube like you do. He's not cool enough for that, you know.
Well, I mean, that's a speed thing. So did you put this on the thread to the drain plug before you put it in the Monster?
Absolutely no clue.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
I remember,
clue.
I remember telling you like 50 times, like, hey,
Oh, okay, yeah.
it will leak out on you.
So at that point, Luke was my Brian. So anything he said, I made sure I did. So if you told me to do that, then I did. Because that's the build that I came into, like,
What the hell do I
fucking
do?
blind kid in the forest.
Yeah, we're a broken file.
Okay.
So being that we have pipe dope, we can put the drain plug in permanently.
Okay. Cool.
This is enough pipe dope to do like 1 million Ducati oil changes.
Solid.
Pipe dope.
You ready?
No.
Uh-oh, broken
Recovering
file,
frames.
having to recover it.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're at 21K frames, is it? Recovery was successful.
Yeah.
Pick that up.
Pick what up?
Whatever you just coughed onto the floor.
It's not like you had a hairball.
No hairballs, no cats, only a puppy.
Some cum stuck on your uvula there.
Disgusting.
I like how he laughed his ass off about it first, and then he was like, disgusting.
And that, my friends, is why Luke gets a microphone.
It's a piece of bubble gum.
New one?
Yes.
For the starter.
Yes.
Okay. So now that's done, we're moving to the starter, or moving back to the starter. Grease on this.
Just like you did the other one.
What's that sound like?
stop. I promise.
No, you won't.
I love the sound effects.
Okay.
There goes your spoon.
However, will I eat my cereal now? All right. Oh, light died.
Now, Chase, you're pushing this gear. Get that starter in there as flat as you possibly can, like it's supposed to sit.
Uh-huh. It confirmed.
All right, now push it in place. There it is.
So what did you do on your side?
All I did was align this gear.
So you can rotate it freely? Okay.
One direction you can rotate it.
I didn't know you listened to them.
It's Chase's favorite band.
Oh, we made the same type joke. Yay.
One direction.
What'd you say?
I didn't know you listened to them.
Mental high five.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
That's so funny.
That's so great that we made the same terrible joke at the same time. All right, I assume you're grabbing the old 8.
The old 8.
The old 8. Thanks for that. Loctite on these? No? Yeah? No? Okay.
Looks like there's already some in there.
Yep. Where's that quick boy? I ain't playing this game again.
What, you just took that off of?
I did. I took it off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Take your sarcasm and suck it. No. We don't get that close. Chase gets real nervous and everybody starts looking real close at what he does. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yes. I don't like you looking this close, Brian. It really gets my nerves going. That's right. Saving time. Starter install complete.
Nope.
No. The other little guy. Where's the little?
Well, we still have all these wires tied off until we put the stator cover back on. Let's just leave that off.
Yeah, Luke. No, think
It's just not complete,
Think about
dude. Think about it.
Wait. Starter complete for now.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, fix it. All right. Oil filter in. Starter back installed with the O-ring. Are we gonna do the oil drain plug thing? Because we got the blue lube stuff.
It's not lube. It's sealant.
It's sealant. Yeah.
All right, clean that off really good.
Okay. Can I clean it with whatever I want?
You sure can. As long as you clean it after you're done cleaning it.
You know what those brushes are? It'd be perfect for that.
What brushes?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
That answered my question.
Right, you know there's what brushes. Perfect.
I just need to get you a macro lens to film this.
That'd be sick.
You can see every little granule. What's the baby green one for?
The sensor that's in that cover.
Oh, okay, so that's also gonna remain not installed for a minute.
Correctamundo.
Correctamundo. Correctamundo.
You just went from Mexican to Japanese.
Told you. Once I start down a path, it just. So messed up.
You got the crush washer?
Yeah. I'm gonna crush this washer. Wait, so what's the blue stuff? Luke told me like 3 years ago, but I forgot.
It's pipe dope. Thread sealer.
Couldn't hold it. Thread sealer, aka pipe dope. Is this a certain type or just, you know?
This is just pipe dope.
Now, crush washer on first.
Yep.
Check.
Is that thing clean?
Clean enough? Yeah.
Here, let me clean this for you.
What are you gonna
Can I have a blue rag, please?
What if he just put it in his mouth and then started?
Oh, God.
Like the cone heads?
Yeah.
I don't think Brian would do it, but like I feel like he would be like, yeah, I used to know this guy.
Yeah. I could definitely.
Saliva.
I could definitely.
Saliva is actually really good at cleaning things. It has enzymes in it that break stuff down.
And when did you work with a guy
That would use saliva to clean off drain plugs? Never.
at least for that?
Yeah.
At least for that. There was a guy that.
It's really good to clean blood off, too.
Here we go.
That I've done.
Yeah, everybody's done that.
Or get the blood off the bike that you just smeared everywhere. That works good.
And the schmutz of blood off the.
Well, you don't want to give somebody their bike back with your DNA all over it. I mean your
True.
blood, specifically.
Thanks for specifying. Bro.
I had to.
It's on the internet, man.
Yep. Okay. You want to try and make sure there's no junk in the threads if you can.
Yeah.
Nice. So why use the thread sealant?
Because for some reason Ducati's drain plugs don't like to seal without it. Even with the crush washer, they still have a tendency to weep a little bit of oil.
So with all of that, if you didn't do the thread sealant, you could still have oil pop out of that.
Yep.
Nice job, Ducati. Really killing the game. Spending too much time on their R&D with their engine.
Fancy
frame.
counter rotating camshafts instead of
they need
making.
to put some engineering intern on like making a half decent oil drain plug.
Dude, it's a personality. You just wouldn't understand.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. As you sip your marinara sauce.
Oh, Biscotti.
One day we need to make that troll video of doing an oil change with
Sipping-
marinara. I don't know how to do it, but we need to. Me and Luke said one time that we need to make a fake like oil change video on his Monster, but make it look like we put marinara in it. Just
You can do that. Full synthetic red line.
Yeah, but you want to make it look like chunky.
I need an oil change. Order it, dude.
Or you take your red line and you pour it into marinara jars.
No, dude. So no, here we'll film it to where. Where's your oil plug? Like on the side of it's obviously on the side of the bike,
On
right?
the right.
So like if we filmed it like you had the camera here, and we put like a little canister and just held the marinara up, like
Yeah.
just dumped it. Oh my god.
That'd be hilarious.
Is there like a oil fill glass, like a sight glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the same time as doing this, I could be pouring the red synthetic in so that the thing would
Yeah,
fill
you just
up.
cut to this, filling up with the red stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You could even do like an overhead shot of us pouring it in, and at the bottom of the funnel, you have like a piece of hose that comes off and just goes off to the other side or whatever. So it
Or we
looks
could
like
just
you're pouring
or we
it
could like tape the bottom of the hose or the funnel to where like we could legit be pouring it in to get that overhead marinara.
You want it to
going.
go like act like it's going in.
Oh, you
'Cause
want
then
it
you'll just,
like
yeah, you can do cuts with it. Yeah.
that would be fucked up. If you got a thick funnel and made it look like it was just pouring in,
Yeah.
that'd be so fucked up.
Okay. Drain plugs in, oil filters in, starters in, mating surfaces are clean, valve cover gasket, and spark plug well gasket has been replaced.
Yep.
And now this is pretty much just going to drop the cover on and make sure that the engine is not exposed to the elements.
We just have to be super careful with this, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
don't smash your fingers. The good thing about that is that tool that you use to remove it makes a good handle to put it back on.
I was gonna say like that little tool that makes it an ice cream cone. Like, it's pretty clutch, if you will, even though we're on the wrong side of the motorcycle.
This thing's got a serious magnet on it, as you're about to find out.
It's a pretty generator.
Oh man,
You
can
feel it?
Feel it. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess anything up though. Is my worry now. Like I don't want it to suck it onto it and it like.
Well, as long as there's no wires or hoses in the way, you should be just fine. Just keep your fingers out the way.
Dude,
There it goes.
Yep. Okay. Holy
There-
shit.
Did you feel it go on?
Yeah. It legit pulled my chair. Like my feet were not ready for the magnetism. That's hilarious.
Okay. So now you want to take your bolts, just drop them in, and then just snug each one of them down.
Right.
Which one did you just grab?
The one in the beginning.
Did you grab this one? Okay. Because it's not like there's an arrow that says beginning.
No, but I put it to where like I wouldn't put any more down, and that's correct because the first long one was the third one that we took off.
Okay.
Shut up.
Another point where I missed my toolbox.
Why?
It's my little, I have like a mini impact gun that has a clutch on it. So I can like turn it down.
Smaller than that one?
It's about that size,
But it's adjustable to
but
the
it's
torque?
adjustable as to how soon it breaks away.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I can
Really
just
nice.
take those and be like, all the way around and not over torque them.
Oh really,
Yeah.
Brian? What's it called? I dare you to tell me. I'll order it.
I mean, you can order it right now. I'll sell you mine.
You
I
don't.
won't sell you mine. I won't sell you mine.
What if you said that and you were like, actually, about that?
I'll sell you mine at full price so I can buy a brandy new one.
Hey,
But what fun is that?
you'll have one and he'll have one. And you'll never use yours. Because you'll forget you have it, like you do with that tool.
I sure will.
Okay, ready for this real quick. Whatever you do, don't break these.
Okay.
Because, you know, these you can kind of just go almost anywhere and find a bolt that's like that.
Right.
Those specialty bolts are coming from Italy if you break them when you order them.
Noted.
The bolt with a nut on it, right?
Well, you got me all freaking.
You
petrified.
should be a little leery about over torquing those. Clink. And it's usually not such a big deal when you're tightening those down, but when you put the nuts on,
Oh, I see.
if you snap that stud off of there when you're putting those nuts on. Okay, that's it.
Sweet.
Now our engine is sealed from the elements.
Yep.
We're just going to leave this tool right here because
'cause
we're
we're
going to
gonna
need
have
it
to
to
use
take
it
it back off again.
Right.
And the cool thing is because there's no sealant on it, we won't have to crank this in. You're just going to use it as a handle, take all the hardware off, and boop, pull it off.
Well, we'll still have the magnetized.
And that's it. But you don't need to screw this in to break that seal
Right.
of all the sealant.
Gotcha.
You can just pull all the hardware out and then remove the cover.
Okay. And that's it, right? That brings.
That's
us
it for
to-
today. I mean, that's all of our oil leaks that are corrected. We are going to modify this cover.
Right.
Yeah, and
And get a
meaning
cover
that we're
for
gonna
it.
have it powder coated,
Right.
so the paint stops chipping off of it,
Right.
and then we're going to cover it with a protective cover.
Right. Okay. So that handles all of the little oil weepage that we had on the engine. Well, I mean, almost, but like
Almost. We didn't seal that cover yet, but that will come.
yeah. Okay.
We're prepped for it now.
Right. So we'll get that going on the next episode. We've got some other side of the engine stuff happening next episode. Should be good times. I think I feel
I think we're moving right along.
Yeah.
I mean, we did run into something very small with that cover, but
Do compared
Technically-
to season 3, right?
technically that cover would not stop us from making this a good running motorcycle.
Yeah.
This is just something that's beautification, that we want to make sure that what we give away is a badass machine with no issues.
Quoted by the man himself. So guys, that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. If you are interested in getting this motorcycle at the end of when we get everything put together, make sure to check out the Patreon page. That is how we fund the show, and those are the people that can potentially win the bike at the end of the show. If you're one of those people, thank you very much. High five to you. And that's the end of this episode, so we're going to sign off. On the next one, I'm not actually sure what we're going to do in the next episode because it depends what parts come in.
Okay.
But we made a very big parts purchase the other day. We got some really cool stuff to put on this bike. I am excited, and we'll let you guys know as we go. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit the like button, especially if you got to this point in the video. You've watched a good bit of stuff, so we would appreciate it. I'm chasing on two wheels. That's Brian, a.k.a. The Brain, being floated around by Luke, and this is our 959 Peningly. We'll see you guys on the next one. Outro crew. Let me think what the outro crew can tell us.
Outro crew, how many positive battery terminals are there on this bike?
Ooh, quiz time. Outro crew gets to tell us how many positive battery terminals, and there's no rewinding the video. You can't rewind it to cheat.
Yeah, right.
Brian,
Oh, you could say it all you want.
have faith in them.
What food is best? Restaurant food. Cook it yourself.
Or restaurant. Wait, restaurant food, cook it yourself, or deliver to restaurant food. Let us know in the comments down below. It's going to be funny depending on what question somebody wants.
So you know how we were talking about on your Monster that the gear position sensor may be going bad?
It is going bad. What are you talking about?
You want to know where it is?
Way in there.
Right there.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
What camera are we on
Is
here?
it just the behind this bolt?
Take this bolt off. Well, on this bike, you take this bolt off, this bolt off, and there's one down here,
Yeah,
and
one's
then
up.
this cover comes out, and then there's two really small torques that hold it on.
That's it?
They're like a T8, really tiny torques that hold it on, and there's no hole. It magnetically reads the gear position through the aluminum engine case.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Yep.
Knowledge. Build stream, thanks for hanging out, dudes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the build stream. We will be putting this episode's TLDW out the day after it goes live. Thanks you guys for watching. We're going to get this cut off. We'll see y'all in the next one.
So is neutral the only one that doesn't come up on your gear position sensor? It's the only thing it has a
Sometimes.
trouble with?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Because if it's not reading like second to third, third to fourth,
No, it reads those.
okay.
It'll go, so I'll plunk it down to first, and then I put it into neutral, and either it's like a really soft,